To turn the season with Jiffy Lube. Until May 31st, visit any participating Jiffy Lube for a Pennzoil full synthetic oil change, and you could win some incredible prizes, like the Grand Prize Spring Kit featuring 2 Yeti mugs, wiper blades with install, gift cards, and more. You could even roll away with one of Jiffy Lube's Keeping You Moving mini prizes. Turn the season with Jiffy Lube and win. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca today.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think,
"Wow, great hair transplant."
I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Ride for Dad is back. Join Sports 1440 as we help raise funds and awareness for the fight against prostate cancer. The ride starts Saturday, June 13th at Blackjack's Roadhouse. Register online at ridefordad.ca and find more info at sports1440.com.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Here's Blake. It's Stan Colvin. Star! It's Stan Colvin on the feed from Blake.
On Sports 1440.
Another roll, Bobby. This could be big. Wanyama for another 30. Going to go the other way. It's going to be a foul on Bryant.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And this one is hit in the air to deep right field. It is on its way to the seats and gone. Number 6 for Andres Jimenez, and the Blue Jays have the lead.
Well, a fantastic Friday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. The show, as always, wherever you are part of it, whether here in the Sports 1440 radio range, maybe you're listening outside of the city, sports1440.ca, or outside the province on TuneIn, or maybe you're watching anywhere on YouTube. Thanks. Facebook, Twitch. We love it. Awesome. There is lots going on in the world of sport. We are later on, we are going to discuss, because you're reading the stats, and if you're a fan of win probability, did we witness the greatest upset in sports history yesterday and not really talk about it? Statistically, we might have. Even if you look at just who was playing, who was competing, and the outcome. So we'll get to that. Tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes will look to punch their ticket to their first Stanley Cup appearance in 20 years. One win over Montreal, and they will take on Vegas. They win tonight, the Hurricanes. Then that series will start next Tuesday in Carolina. Tuesday and Thursday in Carolina against the Vegas Golden Knights. NBA, they've tied a record for the most Game 7s in 1 year. Tomorrow night, Game 7, the 5th Game 7 of the postseason in the NBA, the Spurs and the Thunder. And what's interesting about this series, Game 1 went to double overtime. It's been really close. Since then, the closest margin of victory was 9 points. The average victory in games 2 to 6 has been 17. So you can't really go from game to game. Yeah, the Spurs spanked them last night. No question. Winning 118 to 91, 27-point win. But what does that mean? We'll see what happens in Game 7. The Spurs have done a really good job the last few games. Although he did score 30 points, I should say that. He did score 30 points in game 5, but in 3 of the last 4, they've done a better job at containing Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But in game 7, we'll see who shows up. So who doesn't love game 7, man? Absolutely love it. So we'll get to that. Also, World Championships. Canada's into the semifinals, taking on Finland tomorrow. If you're up for that, you can watch it. You got the Blue Jays as they keep winning with pitching right now. Another stellar pitching performance last night by Corbin, and then you got into the relievers, and they only gave up 1 run again. Like, the Jays are finding ways to win. They're 9-4 in their last 13, but they're not scoring a boatload of runs. Now, they had the one game where they got 8 against the Marlins, but what is it? 3 of their last 4 wins have been by scores of 2-1. So they can win the low scoring. Eventually, though, they would like to be able to cash in a few runs. It is Positive Friday. The Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca, a Lotto Max tonight, 10 million plus 10 prizes of 100,000. So get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. So we got lots to discuss, but I do think it's anybody who listens to our show, we're big believers in sports. We like to have a lot of fun, but I don't think I'm also a big proponent of talking about stuff that sometimes we find uncomfortable, even though I think it's important. And, we touched on a little bit yesterday in Claude Lemieux. And, unfortunately, Claude passed away at the age of 60. He died by suicide. And it is, it's something that's very hard to fathom, hard for a lot of people to understand. And I know the majority of my audience, not all, definitely the majority of our audience are men. We love our women listeners too. But talking to the guys, and ladies, talk to the guys in your life. There's a few things you should know when it comes to suicide. Men commit suicide way more than women. It's an interesting statistic that there's stats will suggest that women attempt suicide more, but they do it through pills in a way that is less likely to end in death. And there's studies and reasons that is well above my pay scale as to why that is. But when it comes to actual dying by suicide, it impacts men way more. So for parents, men, listen up. Men ages 20 to 26, 5.5 times more likely to die by suicide than women. And, there's reasons why that is. Men have a tendency to internalize things more. Are you good? Oh, yeah, I'm good. And you don't say much, right? It's hard. A lot of it comes from, at times, they feel like they're not living up to expectations are big reasons why. They feel like they don't have a sense of purpose. They're not feeling needed or loved. So, to remind the men in your life, they are needed. They are loved. They're important. The highest group that dies by suicide are men age 45 to 65 for a variety of different reasons. And, Claude Lemieux, unfortunately, fell right into that category. And I know that people right away now, anytime a pro athlete dies, it's like, oh, CTE. Because I think a reason why some people resort to CTE right away, and who knows, he might have CTE. But the truth of the matter is 99.9% of the population are not professional athletes. Okay? And there's lots of men who die by suicide. Okay? That's just a fact. So when we say CTE, it's almost like it's saying, oh, he's an athlete, he's not a human. All right? And you try to find blame to it. And the other thing about CTE, and I've always discussed this, how many average men or women have their brain tested for CTE? Because we see, hey, lots of former athletes, they put their test. Great. That's awesome. But if you're only testing athletes, what is that telling us? What about the average person? Like, what about guys who, maybe got in a street fight once? Maybe you fell off your skateboard. Who knows? Maybe just over the wear and tear of our life, other people are susceptible to it. But maybe that's not even the reason why it leads to the decisions that some people make to take their own life. I think it's too easy to want to just go to CTE. And that, to me, kind of dehumanizes the person. But it also avoids the fact that, unfortunately, suicide is still very prevalent in society. And and it rips apart families. I don't know if you saw Brennan Lemieux, his son, his very nice Instagram post about his father, Claude, but the part that stuck with me is he had a picture of him and his son, and his dad, of course, was holding his grandson. And he said, you know what, it's going to be hard for my son. His favorite person's gone. Right? And I don't know, maybe he knew he was his grandson's favorite person. Maybe he didn't know. But that's the real, part about it. And it was interesting. I've talked about this book, and I've read it many times, The Boy Crisis by Warren Farrell. It's fantastic. In the book, he's got a chapter that talks about suicide and how it's more prevalent in young men. Like ages 20, 26, like on campuses, universities, colleges, the suicide rate is 4-1 men to women. Okay, on campus. And you know what age you're in usually when you're on campus, right? It's way more prevalent. And in the book, he talks about Tom Golden. Tom Golden was the author of the book, The Way Men Heal. And in that book, Tom was speaking with Elizabeth Clark. She was the executive director of the National Association of Social Workers. And at the time when the book was published. And I don't think she's there anymore. And they talked about it. They've done all this research on it. But did you know that the National Association of Social Worker Studies, when they studied suicide, they only studied women's suicide? And Tom asked the question, why? Because, well, we don't have the funding. We only have the funding to study women's suicide, even though it's way more prevalent in men. Right? And so now imagine if that was reversed. There'd be an outcry. Like at times, guys need to stand up and say, hey, we matter. We matter too. Right? Not all guys are jerks. Right? Lots of men stand up for the clowns and the less than intelligent men who are, raping and abusing kids, although some women do it too. Let's make no mistake about that. But either way, when it comes to suicide, it's something that we need to talk about more. And we can't be shy about it. There's ways, obviously, if you feel there's anybody in your life who is, thinking about it, definitely recommend them to an expert, right? A therapist. That can really help for a lot of people. Just get some talking. And the biggest one, they actually did studies. Do you know what one of the best things for men to do is join informal men's groups? There's like the Mankind Project, also Boys to Men. And in these groups, it's just men get together and they just talk about day-to-day stuff. Because how many of you out there, and I know right now, because of the gas prices, because of inflation, there's a lot more stress in our society. And guys, naturally, overall, you feel like you're a caregiver. That's just inherent, right? It's an inherent trait in men. And you feel like it's your responsibility. You want to be the protector. You want to make things good. And, when there's financial stress, that becomes a real stressor. And if you never talk about it, you might think, oh, I'm the only one. But sadly, there's lots of people that are dealing with the exact same thing. And these groups, they've done studies on it and how it really opened up and allowed men an avenue to speak about it. And lots of times, once you get it out there, now it's out. And you're not carrying it around with you as much. Because that's why a lot of happens in a lot of cases when people commit suicide, because they feel like, wow, I'm not needed. I'm not wanted. No one's going to miss me. And that's just not the case. Because I can tell you there's someone in your life right now that loves you more than you know. There's someone that probably out there that thinks about you highly or more than you know. And I would hope that, Claude Lemieux, a young guy, and everybody just saw him a few days ago on Monday. Right? He's carrying the torch, and everyone's like, wow, he must have a great life. And you never really know what's going on in someone's life. Like, who knows? Maybe Claude himself, because he kind of didn't know what his purpose was. Who knows? You never know. I can't get into the mind of someone, but retirement is difficult for lots of people. Whether you retire from a police officer, you're a fireman, you're a teacher, you've worked at your company for 20 years, and now all of a sudden, boom, you're not there anymore. Right? It's hard for lots of people to kind of deal with that. And what's my purpose? Where do I stand? And men, we have a tendency not to want to talk about that. So check on your buddies. Make sure they're all right. If you feel like somebody maybe isn't, you might have to press them a little bit, right? Make them feel comfortable. Definitely don't make, and the one thing is don't give a sense of it's like a pity thing. You don't want that. You want empathy. And so on a positive Friday, I just thought with Claude Lemieux and men, something we should talk about. It's not something to be embarrassed about. There's lots of people at times that have gone through tough emotions and tough feelings, and you are worth it. Don't ever think you're not worth it to someone, because trust me, there's people in your life that their lives will be devastated without you. Maybe they haven't told you that lately, but trust me, that's how they feel. So hopefully you can have a better day, a better weekend, and maybe a better summer. So there we go. Jason Gregor alongside Connor Halley. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. That's the text line. We got a lot of sports we'll get to. I like our show because everybody's comfortable. Every now and then we can talk sports and tie it into real life, because at the end of the day, you know what? This is something that's impacting a lot of people in our society. And if we can lower it, that would be better. It's no different than sexual assault. We always want to try to lower that too. So, hey, and men though, unfortunately, we're the victim of suicide way more. And let's try not to do that. Coming up, we will hear from Victor Finlay will join us. The Montreal Canadiens hoping to stave off elimination. They're 3-0 when facing elimination this year. Jake Lanford, man, will join us. The Riverhawks, baby, they're back. Ooh. And man, ticket sales are very good for them. They're, from a business standpoint, they're doing awesome. Their team was very competitive last year, shaping up to be another competitive season, and they'll get going this weekend. So we'll hear from Jake. Wanye Gretz will be by. Craig Button, Speck, LT, Rod Peterson will join us. CFL action tonight. There are still a few tickets left. They're going pretty fast today. Just text in with the Elks. So if you want to go last second to see a very unique experience tonight at Clark Park, I'd recommend going, because everybody's going to be on top of the game. And there is some unfortunate news on the injury front for the green and gold. That was the one thing that you always want to try to avoid is injuries. And the Elks, unfortunately, Darian Newell, who was their 10th overall pick last year, he was suspended for PEDs, so didn't play last year, came in and he just tore his Achilles. So he's out for the year. Also joins Brandon Barlow, who I thought had a really strong finish to the season last year, Connor Halley. Has a torn ACL. Both of them are out for the year. Brett Boyko is going to likely start the season on the 6-game injured list. Robustelli, who's not going to play in the preseason game tonight. KJG, Julian Grant, who hasn't played in the preseason. Both are expected to be ready for the regular season next Saturday. So some injuries there on the receiving core, but Barlow and Newell on the defensive side of the ball, on the D line, not a great start to the year, Cons.
No, not at all. And I mean, I've said it multiple times here. One of the things I was most intrigued by this team going into the season was the pass rush. Can they get home this year? Because we talked about it a lot last year. They just couldn't. At one point, the Riders had more in the half against the Elks than they had in the entirety of the season. So those were two names I was really looking forward to seeing. Brandon Barlow, I know a couple of years ago, was just shy of double digits with the Argos. Newell, like you said, top 10 pick, who missed the entirety of the season due to the suspension. It's big. It's massive. I mean, the other injuries are big too. Having a guy in the 6th game isn't great, but 2 players done with the Achilles for the entirety of the year. It's a massive loss for this team, and opportunity now for others to try to find their way. If you want to find a good spin, at least at the start of the year, they should be good to go by next season. But the rehab process for an Achilles, that's a gruesome one. So unfortunate news for the team. Nonetheless, excited to get down there tonight. Donovan Paulson and I will be heading there after the show today. Got some tickets. Shout out to the Elks, and looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a really cool experience. You don't really get that appreciation when you're, upper deck section Y. That was my old season tickets. When you get this close, you get just a little more appreciation of the thuds that they take and just how freakishly athletic they are. So it's going to be a good one down at Clark.
Yeah, there you go. So it should be a fun night. Also, it is Positive Friday today. And next week, exactly a week from today, we have an opportunity to, we're going to tee it up. We're going to have a little bit of fun. So if you want to golf next Friday at the ranch for MS, I'll be in your 5. We got a few little special gifts. Not only will you golf with me, which isn't really a gift, but you'll be getting some things that no one else really has. So we've got some Sports 1440 sleeves of golf balls you'll have if you're the foursome. Also, fresh off the presses, although it's not really a press. I'm not sure where they make them, but we have our first Sports 1440 pens, courtesy of Fujo and Purmo Marketing, so you get a lot of those. And we'll have some laughs, buy a beverage or two. And so if you want to force them to tee it up next Friday at the ranch, I'm telling you, though, this is a very fun, high-spirited tournament. Lots of laughs, okay? So if you want to golf with yours truly, next Friday we'll tee it up. All the money's going to the MS 833-401-1440. We'll have some laughs. Who knows? Maybe we even talk about our feelings, guys, because that's important too. 833-401-1440. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
At Papa John's, get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, order off the Papa Pairings menu and save. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Mr. Rooter gets attacked by a Canada goose.
Oh, look at that. Another on-time arrival. Nothing stops Mr. Rooter from plumbing on schedule. You gotta be kidding me. Hello, Mr. Goose. I'm Mr. Rooter. Okay, this is what you train for. Through rain, sleet, or goose, the pipes get fixed.
For a plumber who does whatever it takes, Mr. Rooter.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
I'm good to go. Good to go. With Mortgages to Go, you'll be good to go. MortgagesToGo.ca says yes when the banks say no. That's why Alberta has trusted Mortgages to Go for over 23 years. If you need cash and have equity in your home, you're approved instantly. Guaranteed. Call 1-888-888-5998. That's 1-888-888-5998. With Mortgages to Go, you'll say,
I'm good to go.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business. Rev up for a ride that truly matters. Join the Princess Auto Ride for Dad Edmonton, where hundreds of motorcycles fire up and roll out together in one unforgettable moment. Enjoy a scenic route, great food, amazing prizes, fundraising awards, and a whole community riding shoulder to shoulder. Collect pledges to support prostate cancer research and awareness in the fight against prostate cancer. Ride strong, ride proud to make a difference on Saturday, June 13th, starting at Blackjack's Roadhouse in Nisku. Register now at ridefordad.ca. Question: what do you do with your medal?
Lawn ornaments.
Statues.
I made this hat for Kitty, but it's a little heavy. Sorry, Mr. Fluffles.
At Metal Supermarkets, they encourage you to submit your creations to the Metal My Way Gallery today. You can win some great prizes. Go to metalmyway.com. A celebration of metal mastery. Proudly sponsored by Metal Supermarkets, the local convenience stores for Southside, West End, metalsupermarkets.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Mortgages to Go. Need cash and have equity in your home? Mortgages to Go has you covered. When the bank says no, they say yes, and they've been doing it in Alberta for over 23 years. Call 1-888-888-5998 or visit mortgagestogo.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:25. Welcome back. It is the Friday edition of the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having an awesome Friday. Big plans for the weekend. Get outside. Going to be a little rainy on Sunday, so get out there, do as much as you can tonight, tomorrow. It's been pretty hot here for a few days, so get a little rain soak for a day, and then we'll rock and roll into next week. That'll be awesome. Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Casino, sports, lottery, instance, live dealer, all in one place. PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's and at McD's, of course. Right now, stop in. Can try out their newest creamy crafted sodas, sparkling juicy refreshers, and you can get the $5 McValue meals. Check it out, McDouble and more right now at McDonald's. And it is a must-win time for the Montreal Canadiens. They are 3-0 this year in the playoffs in must-win situations, and they're hoping that continues on the road tonight in Carolina. Marty St. Louis has been very candid about, hey, we got to shoot the puck more. We got to create more. And we've always been good at solving things, so we got to solve this defense of the Carolina Hurricanes. So we'll see what's in store tonight as Victor Findlay joins us. And Victor, you call the games, and, you know, it is kind of shocking. I know at times, hey, the Habs won a game where they only had 9 shots, so it's not like it's completely unheard of, but 43 shots over 3 consecutive games. They've never gone 3 consecutive games like this. No team ever does. What do you think would be like the easiest change that they can start generating more shots and more scoring chances against Carolina?
Yeah, well, look, I think one thing for them that hasn't been as apparent in this series compared to the first two is that there just haven't been as many power plays. So not that I think the shot totals would be exactly what they have been against Carolina in the previous 2 series, but I think for Montreal all season long, that's been a big difference maker for them. When they get power plays, they're getting pucks. They're getting more pucks on net, at least when they've got the 5-on-4. So I think we'd see elevated shot totals there if they had more power plays. But obviously, that's ultimately in the hands of the referees. So if there's anything, I guess they could change that's within their control. I think, Jake Evans kind of touched on it the other day in his media avail about just playing more connected and playing a straightforward game. So I know there's a lot of discourse about the shots on goal right now, and I totally get it. The fans are chanting shoot the puck. Everybody knows that the Habs probably need to play more direct here, just a straightforward game. I will say, though, at the same time, I think it's really difficult for them to flip that switch because they've played a certain way and they've had success with it all season long. And that is sometimes almost passing the puck into the net, right? Like the philosophy all year for them has been, we're gonna sacrifice a decent look at the net to try and get a great look at the net. And maybe that doesn't result in a shot. Maybe it's a puck that bounces the right way or the wrong way, or the defending team makes a play on it. You know, we'll live with that. But here in this series, Carolina's defense has just been so stifling that they haven't had many of those bounces go the right way when they're passing up looks to try and get something better. So I think, yeah, I mean, if you're asking me what's the change they can make, it's playing more direct, but I think that's going to be hard for them to do when they've played a certain way all season long and had success with it until now.
Do you expect any lineup change? A lot of people are wondering, about the lineup and, Gallagher. What do you think about that?
I don't think we're seeing anything tonight different in terms of who's in and who's out. I think who plays with who. Yeah, I mean, well, we saw them juggle it up a little bit too in the last game, right? So I think the one ace, so to speak, that Marty St. Louis has up his sleeve is putting Slavkovsky on the second line. But even that didn't really work in the last game. But there was some real chemistry with Demidov and Slavkovsky on the same line during the regular season. So I still think there's a bit of a lack of a two center right there. You've still got Evans in that role, which as good as he's played, I don't think is as ideal as you would like in terms of offensive ceiling there. But I don't think, look, I think if Gallagher comes in, he's playing 5-6 minutes tonight, and I like what the idea of bringing Gallagher into the lineup can do. And you'd have something similar if you brought in Jack-Eye, but I just don't think those guys are playing enough minutes to justify taking out somebody like Veleno, who's going to play on the penalty kill again for Montreal, and he's been really good on the PK for them. And then if Veleno comes in, well, who's going to be the fourth line center? Doc hasn't been great as a center all year, and the Habs would rather have him on the wing trying to win puck battles off the boards, which is something he's really good at. So I think there's a little bit of that as well. So for that reason, I don't think we see any change in terms of personnel, in terms of who's in and who's out for the Habs tonight.
Yeah, you look at it, matchups, we kind of know what they are. The Habs just need more, from their best guys offensively. That's just, It might seem too simple, but at the end of the day, that's why you win. And when your best guys are your best guys all year long, usually you win. And so they're going to need Caulfield, Suzuki, and Slavkovsky. I think or Demidov. Those guys just have to carry them offensively to get that series back to Montreal.
Yep, I totally agree. I talked about it at the intermission show the other night at Game 4 going into the third period, and it was a really disappointing third period because the Habs didn't show much fight or much pushback in that period. But, I was mentioning, I don't think there's a whole lot Marty can do as the head coach right now. It's ultimately, if there's something that's going to change here, it's got to come from one of the individuals. Like somebody's got to step up here and make a play and try and take over the game. And it doesn't have to be a beautiful move or a highlight reel goal. It can be a hit. It can be something straightforward, net front drive, just something to get some life back in that game. In terms of that being Game 4. And then same applies tonight, I think, in Game 5 as well. Just little plays, straightforward plays, but just showing signs of life that you've still got something to give in this series. I will say though too, I think fatigue is playing a factor here as well. So, as much as I'd like to say, well, Suzuki, and we all know this here, that we've watched these guys all season. We know Caulfield and Suzuki and Hudson and players like that are capable of stepping up and taking over games. But is there enough left in the gas tank for those guys to do this? Because it's been back-to-back 7-game series for them. Tampa Bay was a very physical series. Carolina have played very physical. It's been really hard on Montreal's top guys. So I do think there's a question mark there in terms of just how much gas is left in the tank for the Canadiens and their star players.
You look at, and Carolina they come in waves, and that's what they've done. And, Game 1, Montreal full marks them. Maybe Carolina was a little rusty after an 11-day break. Who knows? But it's like the last few games have just, and hey, Montreal was there in overtime. And if Nick Suzuki scores, you never know. But they haven't been really that close when you dig deeper here in the last 3 games, right? So it's hard to fathom how they can change, because I don't even think Montreal is playing that poorly. It's just that Carolina is that good.
Yeah. Well, people have been asking me this, like what's wrong? Like, how does Montreal go from being so competitive in the first two series to this now? And again, maybe fatigue's a factor in that. But my answer yesterday when I was doing an interview with News was, well, the Canes are a great team. Like their D-core 1 through 6 are stellar. I think Keandre Miller and Jacob Slavin have played incredibly well in games 2, 3, and 4 of this series for Carolina, and they'll roll all 4 of their lines. So when they've got Jankowski, Robinson, and William Carrier out there on their fourth line, like that fourth line never goes unnoticed. They've got a couple goals already in this series, but all those guys are big, strong players who can skate, and they're such a problem for Montreal in the forecheck. So I don't, whatever happens here, win, lose, or otherwise, I'm not concerned about the Canadiens and the direction they're going in big picture, because if they lose this series, to me, they just lost to a team that's more ready to play for a Stanley Cup than they are. So ideally, I think the Habs are there at some point. Maybe that's 2-3 years, maybe even 4 years down the road. I don't know. But the fact that they've got this far and they've already beat 2 teams that they were very closely matched up against in Tampa Bay and Buffalo, and they did get a win in game 1 of the conference final over Carolina, to me, that's an enormous accomplishment for the Canadiens, given the context of their rebuild, to be here and to get to this level as quickly as they have.
Talking Montreal Canadiens and, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes, Game 5 tonight. Canadiens have to win. Victor Finlay joins us, voice of the Canadiens. And Vic, obviously, it's been a great success story for Montreal this year. And I see a lot, you know what, if they lose, they'll be back. And I'm kind of like, here's a hard part of the reality of the playoffs. A lot of people said the same thing against the Jets in 2018. They had Hellebuck and Scheifele and Connor and Trouba and Lowry. Lots of really good young Ehlers, Laine back when he was a young star. And everyone was like, hey, you know what? Young guys are going to get there. It's hard, right? Like, it's hard to get there health-wise, so many other things. So you look at Montreal, and they've got a lot of positives, but if they don't come back and win 3 straight, what are the areas of this team you think that they would look to improve so they can go deeper? Because look at their opposition. Carolina spent how many years where they couldn't get out of the third round?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Jason. I think in some ways, it's almost a blessing and a curse to be at this stage, because now, especially in this market, the bar is so high for this team next year. And look, if Game 7 in the first round against Tampa Bay goes a little bit differently in terms of the bounces, like the narrative of this team is completely flipped around. Now, all of a sudden, they're the team that can't get it done in the first round, trying to get into the second round. But here they are on this run, and you're totally right. I agree with you there. So, yeah, in terms of where they're looking to improve, I think there's no question the top priority for Kent Hughes and this management team right now is a 2 center. So I brought it up there. They got Jake Evans playing up the middle. They started the year hoping that Kirby Dach could be that guy. They've been hoping that for a while. But again, injuries have been an issue for him. He's just not a great face-off taker. And ultimately, I think he's just better served on the wing. So I think he's a guy that's still trying to find his role a little bit. But I think there have been some encouraging signs of what we've seen from him as a bottom 6 winger for the Canadiens. So Newhook's been a bit of an option there too, but again, I think it's preferable to have him as a winger as opposed to a center. There's lots of rumors about the Canadiens being close to a deal. Was it Robert Thomas? Was it not? Whatever. As a 2 center, that never happened. Oliver Kapanen played a good chunk of the year as a 2 center, and he did a very good job with it. And then really kind of fell off in the second half, maybe last quarter of the season, to the point where he's not even in the lineup right now for the Montreal Canadiens. So 2 center has to be top of the list for Montreal. I think the D-core is pretty well set at the moment, especially with Reinbacher. He's going to be pushing for a spot on the opening night roster next season. I think you're always looking to just add a piece or 2 as well in the top 6. So whether that's a left or a right winger, I still think the Habs are going to be looking for really anybody to kind of complement Demidov, whether that is a center or a winger on the second line.
Okay. Lastly, you let's pretend here for a second that they come back and they win the series. How do you see a matchup against Vegas?
You know what? It's different in the sense that I think Vegas play a bit of a different system, but I felt like the first 2 rounds were really close for Montreal. But I think part of the reason they've run into a problem here too with Carolina is that the Canes center depth is really good. And I think the same can be said. It might be even better for the Vegas Golden Knights. So I think the Golden Knights are so deep up the middle. And again, they got a pretty good D-core as well. And they're getting saves from their goaltender right now. I think the Canadians would end up in a similar situation to what they are now against Carolina. So again, I think it's just a matter of if they were to play in the Cup final against Vegas, I think the Habs are taking on a team that's just more ready for a Stanley Cup than they are. So I don't think there's any question that the Canadians would be the underdog in that series.
All right. Well, Victor, we'll see if they get there. They need a win tonight, and then the Bell Center would be rocking on Sunday night. We'll see what happens. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, you got it.
There you go. That is Victor Finlay, voice of the Canadians. Take a quick break, and they are back. The boys this summer are back in Edmonton. We'll talk about it next. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The sun's out, the pavement's warm, and that low rumble of a Harley rolling by? Oh yeah, that's calling your name. This is riding season, and if you've been thinking about a new ride, Harley-Davidson of Edmonton has the one that'll get your heart pumping. With a huge selection of new and pre-owned bikes,
There's one waiting for you.
whether you're upgrading or just getting started. And while you're there, ask about test rides, because the only way to know is to ride it. For more details, visit Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated since 1980, or at hdedmonton.com.
Hi, I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. We've been tightening bolts and redefining our industry for 25 years. Yes, a quarter century, and we're just getting started. Check us out at cantork.com. Our tools age better than I do.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact, because our team is built on second chances, and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Start thinking spring road trips and off-road trips in your new Subaru Crosstrek. Stylish, rugged, and so many features. Standard on every Crosstrek. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
Ready to upgrade your ride this spring? Come on down to the Golf Cart People. They're a family-owned and operated business that's been serving the community since '97. Whether you're looking for a brand new or quality pre-owned cart, a rental for a special event, they do that too. The Golf Cart People have a huge selection of parts and accessories, and their expert service team is here to keep you rolling. The Golf Cart People, your one-stop shop for everything golf cart. Visit golfcartpeople.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Your weekend hotspot is OTR. Party with Edmonton's best live bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your bar, your party. Jasper Ave 118th. On the Rocks, YEG.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Pause. Friday continues on. How you doing? Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Friday afternoon as it is time to go in the community and get our baseball report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer. LegacyHeating.ca. And well, you want to stay cool. The boys of summer are heating up as the Riverhawks are back in action tonight as head coach Jake Lanferman joins us once again. Jake, welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, quick, I guess, give me your thoughts on the junior Riverhawks and how that first season went.
Yeah, our college program,
Yeah.
it was awesome. Yeah, it's been year 5 now. So we lost in the final to PBA from Lethbridge, but yeah, proud of that group. It's a tough double elimination tournament to end it for the College World Series. But we battled hard and took her to the end. So it was awesome.
So now you switch gears and back to the Riverhawks. You guys had a very competitive team last year. Obviously, there's lots of changeover every year. How many returning players?
I think we'll have between 10 to 12.
Okay.
So a good chunk. Yeah.
Okay. And now, are they all here or you're still waiting on a few?
A couple of them are arms that'll be used more towards the back half, but we got for position players. We're in a really good spot with returners. I'd say six of them are already in town in Edmonton.
Okay. And I like what you said. You're saving some arms for later because the reality is of your season, you do lose some guys late in the year.
Yeah, it's tricky. The main piece and component to it is innings limits, and Miles Chamberlain, who was incredible for us last year. He transferred to University of British Columbia. He threw 75 innings, I believe, and was pitcher of the year for that conference. So, we don't have the full range and use of him as we did last year. So it'd be nice to keep him fresh for the back half, and hopefully we can get some innings out of him and make a push again.
Okay. So what's your expectation of your team now? Obviously, being in the league, you kind of know what the quality of the league is overall. Are you going to be a heavy hitting team? Do you think pitching is going to be your strength? What do you think is going to be the strength of the Riverhawks?
I think depth of our pitching is going to be a strength of ours. This is also probably one of the squads in the last 5 years that has the most power, in my opinion. So okay. I think hitter-wise, we're going to be able to swing it for some extra base hits, especially here at Remax when we're playing in such a big graveyard. But no, I'm excited. I think defense is going to be a strong strength of ours, and hopefully we can just build off of what we've built the last couple of years.
And that's the key is, how do you what have you learned just specifically in your role, Jake? Do you feel that, okay, you know what, my more experience, here's something that I think could help us as a group this year?
I think the knowledge and understanding of the recruiting process and what we need to have for depth going into the back half, it's always tricky, and trying to manage where we're at with bodies, and obviously injuries come up and arise out of nowhere. But I think with the staff we have, I've been doing it with these guys for 4 years, and it's the same message. It's playing hard-nosed, consistent baseball for the whole summer. There's a front half clinch and a back half clinch, but the overall, the top two teams overall also get in. And 2 years ago, that's how we managed to clinch our first playoff berth. So I think that's the big thing is it's pro-like schedule, trying to do the things that we want to do every day and play our best baseball. And hopefully the outcomes go our way, but these guys also need to develop, and that's a major component of it too.
You look at it. Do you have any sense of what the other teams are going to have?
We know, like, the teams that we compete with every year, we know what they're going to bring. Victoria Harbor Cats, Bellingham Bells, who won it last year and beat us in the North Division final. Wenatchee, who we play tonight.
Yeah.
They've been around 20 to 30 years, some of them, and they understand the process it takes to have high-quality baseball players and compete for a championship every year. So the one tricky part for Wenatchee tonight, it's just a lot of us as well, but Division I players are still in regionals and they're still dragging out their season. So as you guys know too, the roster is going to look completely different in 2 to 3 weeks, and then at the back half, late July, it's also going to look different. So it's a unique component to the league that you got to battle with as a manager.
Yeah, it's like you have some guys coming a little bit later on in the year, and it's the same for everybody. So looking at it tonight for fans who are coming down, of course, you guys play tonight, tomorrow 7:05, and then 1:05 on Sunday afternoon, and hopefully that one's not rained out early because it looks like there might be some rain. But what's kind of who's on the bump tonight for you guys?
Yeah, we have a right-handed pitcher from Montana State University Billings. His name is Sam Coxon, and we did Live on Lives the other day, and he was hitting 92, 93, top 95. So we're not going to use him a major component of the game, but I think he's going to throw the first 2 innings, and he's a pretty electric arm to watch. So should set the tone for the season and get some of our bullpen guys in and hopefully swing it well and put on a show for tonight.
You talk about playing here, like best crowds in the league, right? And I'm assuming, Jake, that's got to be an advantage a little bit when it comes to recruiting now. There's lots of teams that, hey, we can offer this or that, but there's very few that can offer the type of crowds that you offer.
Yeah, and last year I think 149,000 fans came through, which is a testament to the great support we have from the fans in the city. Definitely a sports city, and it's awesome to have guys get to experience that. There's a lot of minor league teams that don't get nearly the capacity or attendance that we get on a nightly basis, and for some of these guys, it's going to be the games and memories they don't never forget, and as part of their baseball careers forever, which is really unique. But I think that's a big piece to it. I think we were 21-6 last year at home. It's always easier when everybody's cheering for us at home, and then we get to play our game and use the fans and the energy. But yeah, and we've seen it on the road too. You get to some spots with 3,000 or 4,000 that are rooting against you. It can be challenging. So it's going to be awesome again this summer, and I know the guys are really excited for tonight.
Talking Riverhawks with head coach Jake Lanferman. They're back in action. They got 3 games at home this weekend. Then they're on the road, and they'll return home for a 6-game homestand. And, we saw this schedule last year where it's like basically a week on the road, week at home, week on the road, Jake. And, unless you run into some real bad weather, this seems to be the best schedule for guys. It's not 3 and then back on the road, then at home. This seems to be like a week in, week out is best for the league.
Yeah, the thing I really like about this year in the schedule, we started last year with our 3 off days to begin the season, which was very unique and was challenging because you have, you're in the heart of it, the dog days where you're not getting a break. So we do have the All-Star break, but we also have a 4-day kind of offset in the middle of June there, which is exciting to give our guys a little bit of rest and utilize it. But yeah, you got it right. Unless there's a rain out, that's the only time we would play a doubleheader. The next time we play that team later on this season. But the 1 game a day, it allows guys to get their development and work in pregame, and then hit the ground rolling when we play in the evening.
How do you feel since you started? Like, are you getting way more calls from players or families or schools or agents saying, "Hey, we want to come to Edmonton"?
Yeah, the outreach is definitely exploded, I guess, in the last couple of years. We've had a lot more communication with coaches and agents. We have 3 Japanese players this year and an agent that is special to us because he sent us the first player to this program 4 years ago. And he just actually got called up to the big leagues. His name's Riku Nishida. So it's cool how the journey in baseball kind of takes us to build these relationships with great people and ones we can trust. But the outreach from players alone, as well as multiple schools, it's definitely grown.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Jake. I know we'll talk to you throughout the year, and best of luck in the home opener tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There you go. That's Jake Lanferman, the head coach of the Riverhawks. And I know many of you went down to the games last year. The ballpark's unbelievable. The Riverhawks have done such a fantastic job of really connecting. They have lots of, game day. The presentation's awesome. Some of the fun little competitions they do. The kids get to go on the field after the game. That's something that I can tell you, one of the main reasons my son loves going to the Elks when it started was he got to go on the field. I was like, when he was 8 or 9, that was like the greatest thing. They're getting blown out. He's like, Dad, we're not leaving. I'm going on the field. So, right, that's a way to start connecting kids. And I think it's fantastic. Went to the Riverhawks and, got kids running the bases. And sometimes they have different things going on in the outfield and different activities. And it's a really great atmosphere. You get some of those games. Like, I don't think you can get tickets for Canada Day. Like, you got to buy your tickets literally the day they go on sale. Otherwise, you can't get tickets. So that's where, you got something pretty cool. It's become a massive event, the Canada Day event. And they got quite a few other, we're talking 7, 8, 9,000 fans in the stands. It'll be awesome. So if you haven't gone to a Riverhawks game, I'd recommend checking it out. You can just go to their website, riverhawksbaseball.com. And you can click on the schedule. You can see when they're going. Basically, it's they got a homestand now, and then they're on the road. Then they come back, and it's pretty straightforward, really. So you're always going to have your, some weekends you'll have Fridays, Saturday games, and then you just kind of move on from there. They have a few weekday games. I don't think they have a Monday. I think there's one Monday game all year long. In Edmonton, and that's on the 20th. Other than that, they basically play Tuesday through Sunday at home. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Stable jobs create stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a sports 1440 update.
Game 5 tonight at the Eastern Conference Finals. The Canadians look to stay alive in Carolina, trailing 3 games to 1. Puck drop set for just after 6 o'clock. Major League Baseball, Jays Orioles from Baltimore. First pitch 5:05. We'll have that one for you here on our AM dial immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere, Braves head to Cincinnati. Pirates host the Twins. Marlins and Mets. The Cards get the Cubs in St. Louis. Brewers are in Houston. Athletics hosting the Yankees. Diamondbacks travel to Seattle, and the Dodgers host the Phillies. CFL preseason concludes tonight. Edmonton taking on Calgary down at Park Stadium. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock. You've also got Hamilton, Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and BC traveling to Winnipeg. Riverhawks kick off their season with Wenatchee in town all weekend. First pitch tonight goes just after 7 down at Remax Field. And at the Memorial Cup, Chicoutimi and Everett at 7. The winner advances to Sunday's final against the Kitchener Rangers at 5 o'clock. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we will be joined by our co-host Wanye Gretz. And hear from Rod Peterson as we look around the CFL. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
At Papa John's, get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium 1-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, order off the Papa Pairings menu and save. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Rivalries run deep in Alberta football.
Edmonton all the way. Calgary rules.
But when it comes to the best snack for 3-down fun, there's no Battle of Alberta. It's a clear winner.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The one thing every Alberta fan agrees on. So whether you're watching the game from your recliner or in the stands, make it a part of your game day.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
The longest running basketball show in Canada airs every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440. Hoop City with Paul Sir introduces a new generation of basketball talk, and it's right here on Edmonton's home for sports, Sports 1440.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit prosolutionsinc.ca to schedule your service today.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for two. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all sevens. Go Auto, get in the game.
Everything is going to be okay. If your debt has you feeling like you're in a free fall, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal allows you to eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we'll tackle your debt.
Your next great family adventure is just a raffle ticket away. Enter the Alberta Foster and Kinship Association's Great Family Adventure Raffle for your chance to win incredible prizes, including the first prize, a Sea-Doo pontoon cruise boat worth over $70,000. Every ticket sold helps provide vital resources to the everyday heroes raising children through some of life's hardest circumstances. Buy your tickets before the live draw on June 5th. Get yours at rafflebox.ca/raffle/the Great Family Adventure Raffle. License number 766115. Open to Alberta residents 18 plus only.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with the Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. How are you? Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. As always, we very much appreciate it. I hope you got big plans for the weekend. A little bit of rain coming down in certain parts of the city right now. My understanding, though, if we look at the forecast, it hopefully will clear up here right away. The big rain is coming probably on Sunday and through to Monday, even Tuesday. Talking a fair amount of rain. So there you go. Get out there, enjoy it today. There are a few tickets, not many, but a few tickets remaining for the Elks game tonight. Very unique experience. I can tell you one afternoon, you might not get again for many, many years because, well, the World Cup is probably not coming back to Canada in the immediate future. It's not usually how it works. So, things that would kick the Elks out of their home. Can't think of anything else. Like you book concerts, you just book concerts around their schedule. And if they have their normal field, they wouldn't play at Clark. So a smaller little venue, you're way closer to the action, right? There's no track. You're right on it. So I'd recommend getting down there. Should be a lot of fun. If you're thinking of last minute some get your tickets, go to Go Elks or give them a call, and they can set you up. So there's not many tickets left at all. You also have Riverhawks tonight in action tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday afternoon. The Elks then they'll kick off the regular season next week. The Elks did get some bad news on the injury front on the D line as they've lost 2 players to season-ending injuries to their Achilles. Brandon Barlow is out. Also, Darren Newell, both out with Achilles. So that's not good news. But they do have a lot of depth on the D line. And I know that was the one thing they tried to want to get through camp without any serious injuries, because it seems to happen every year that you lose 1 or 2 guys for long periods of time. And Brett Boyko is on the 6th game. He's got a hand injury. Robostelli's not playing tonight, but he's supposed to be ready for next week. And Julian Grant didn't play against BC. He's not playing tonight, but he's trending in the right direction to be ready for the start of the regular season. If he's not, though, Kettle's been great. The rookie, he's been really good. Mathis, got an article up at elksnation.ca to kind of check out some of the guys to look out for tonight. And so we'll get to that a little bit later on as we welcome in Wanye Gretz to the show. Wanye, how you doing?
Well, I'm unplugged from the world of sports, Gregor. I was on vacation, so I don't know anything. Have the Oilers signed anyone of note to an 8-year deal in the last 5 days?
No.
Nobody?
No.
Nobody.
No, I don't. I could say confidently that the Oilers will never sign another player to an 8-year deal.
Is it illegal? Did they amend the rules?
It will be on September 15th, and there's no player currently, Dickinson, Murphy, Kapanen, that's going to get an 8-year deal. Well, I guess, Matt Savoy, I guess I shouldn't say. Matt Savoy could technically, if they wanted to, July 1st, he's eligible for a contract extension, so he could get it, but I'm pretty confident it's not going to happen.
So they've actually amended league rules preventing this?
Yeah, the NHL, that was in the new CBA. So it's 7-year deal max now, 6 years for free agents. But teams and free agents this summer, this will be the last year that a free agent gets 7 years. So I'd be curious how many of them, the last year they can get, 7 years for a free agent to see how many free agents will get the max of 7 years. Teams retaining their own free agents could still get 8-year deals. So we'll see where that goes. But thankfully, no more 8 years. As I've said it, I'd like to pick a number on when the league's going to get to and I've been saying this for 3 years, so it's not new. I've been saying 5-year max contracts after the age of 28. And because free agents starting next July 1st can only get 6 years. So it's getting closer.
So this shaves a year off of what Connor could get conceivably.
Yes. Yeah. Well, but you know what? Doesn't really matter for the high end octane players. Trust me, the team, you sign them 5 years, team's going to want to sign you for longer after that. So it's usually only up to if the player really wants to leave. Now, I shouldn't say that. Some teams might say, well, we'd sign you, but not to what your deal was. Like, look at Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn went from being a $9 million player, and then his last season this year was a 1-year deal with Dallas for significantly less dollars than that. And so that will happen. But yes, the 8-year deals, this is the last few months of the potential of those. And honestly, if you were a team, like, why would you do it now? Like, unless it's a Connor Bedard, I don't see any reason to do it.
When Trent Frederick's agent hung up the phone after inking him to that 8-year deal, was he like writing a letter to the Hockey Hall of Fame, nominating himself in the builders category? Like, how, I can't even imagine the conversation that led to an 8-year deal. Just seems extremely long.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, the term to me was head scratching. There's no question. If it would have been a 4-year deal, I'm like, okay, I live with that. But 8 years didn't, especially coming off the year he did. Right? Like, the guy barely played, he was hurt. So yeah, that was that one will live in infamy for the Edmonton Oilers. To live up to the term of that contract is going to be very hard. Now, could Fred Frederick score 15 goals and have 30 points next year and then look and say, okay, you know what, be physical, 3.8. People, for the next year, you'd look and say, it's salvageable in the short term. I think it's now, I get that in 8 years, every every bottom six player in the league might make $3.8 million. We'll see. Not every player, of course, but it will, even with the cap going up, it still was an unnecessary term.
I don't see anybody taking issue with Trent Frederick's salary.
Not as much.
It's the term that blows minds.
Yeah, the salary is not ideal, but at least you can argue and say, okay, well, I can see why maybe guys like that, his style, they get contracts. Okay. But the term was like, pardon? Yeah, like if you would have signed him for a term at $2.85 million, then I think people would have said, okay, yeah, I get it, right? Like, yeah, I do that, but not at $3.85 million bucks. Not good at all. We got a few texts flying in, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, that contract will be league minimum in 8 years. Cap ain't going up that much, right? Like you look at, like league minimum right now is $850. It ain't going up $3 million bucks in 8 years for the league minimum. I can tell you that right now. So,
were you looking at the MLB negotiations on the salary caps?
Mm-hmm.
How much money they would have to spend to hit the floor? So many teams, like the amount of salaries that would be handed out. It's not minting new ball players. There'd just be that much more money having to be paid to get to the floor.
Yeah, or you would be, yes, there'd be more money around. You'd also probably be spreading out the money, right? Because if they have a high cap, then the Dodgers and them, like maybe they would get rid of their luxury tax, right? So then they're going to have to trade away some players. Kind of like what we saw with Detroit and those other teams coming out of the 06 lockout, right? Some teams just had to get rid of some guys. So, but you're right. There's certain franchises in MLB right now that the owner's like, man, whatever, right? Like they don't really care. They're like, yeah, you know what? We got some fans who still come on. We're not going to spend a lot of money in our TV deals. We make so much money off that. Like they're still printing coin. So I understand it, but it is, we're going to get into, actually, you know what? Let's do that right now because it is, I got some numbers for you as we get to our stats of the day brought to you by All Star Construction, founded in 2009. They have grown into the largest contract in their space and land development, gas and power installation. They shape and build Edmonton communities. That is All Star Construction. So we'll get to some numbers. So here's the salary floor that was proposed was $171.2 million, and the salary cap, the ceiling would be $245 million. Now, it is important to note this is the first salary cap proposed by MLB owners since 1994. That, and if you remember 94, hello Montreal fan, don't tell Low Tide he'll hit the ditch if he's driving home still. But that's what led to the 7th-month strike and the cancellation of the 1994 World Series. The MLBPA has staunchly been against it for a long, long time. I don't like their initial one. They don't want a salary cap, right? Like they came in there and said, "Here we go. This is the counter from the owners of having a cap. This is how the negotiation goes. It'll probably start publicly, and historically, I'll just say this: if you look at the history of negotiations, the billionaires usually get what they want because the billionaires can hold out longer than the millionaires. Right now, who gets punished the most? The fans, because there probably won't be baseball. Right? And I hope I'm wrong. Like I hope they come to an agreement. But if MLB, PA, like I get that you want to take a strong stance. I totally understand it. But at the end of the day, the billionaire owners are like, well, we can outweigh you. Just a fact, right? These guys got millions. They don't want to play. The guys got billions. What are they going to lose? Right? Like they might lose 150 million, 200 million, whatever they lose per team. But for them, it's like, well, okay, that gives me a little bit of a tax write-off for this year for my other ventures. And that's why I understand if you're the PA, you make the hard line. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. I think eventually, though, it'll happen.
If the name of the game for the PA is to get the average salary as high as possible, you can make a strong case that getting the floor established would do more for the PA than having a cap would hurt them. If they have to bring up all these low spending teams, you could make a really strong case that even though you're allowing a salary cap to be implemented, you also negotiated hard for the floor. And that's going to result in, like, I was looking at an article, the amount of money that would be committed to the salaries for the exact same number of MLB players would be crazy.
So if you look at it right now, in the so the salary cap right now, the active man salary cap. Now, if we look at total payroll, so that'd be different. But if you're looking just at the salary cap for Philly right now, there's no team that's at $245 million. And if 171 was the floor, here's teams currently over 171. Chicago Cubs are 174. Toronto's 179. The Dodgers 187. But obviously that goes up. I should probably use total payroll because they got a lot of injured players on that one. So total payroll changes it a bit. But there's still only half the league over 171. 15 teams.
Which would be the floor in this proposal.
Which would be the floor. Because right now, like, Miami's at 78, Cleveland's at 80, the White Sox at 90, Washington's at 92, the Athletics, St. Louis, 94. And then you get into Tampa and Pittsburgh, they're at 100, 105. So it's significant for a lot of these teams. Now, the 200 and what did it say the ceiling would be? So that means the teams that are above it, it's coming down, right? So that's going to be their number one argument right away, right? So it's 245. So if you look at teams above 245, there's 6 teams: Atlanta, Philly, Toronto, the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Mets. And like in the case of the Mets, they're like $90 million over. So they would come down. The team that's the lowest right now is about $90 million low, Miami. So they even out, right? So there's no more money there. But then the rest, you're right, it would do it. But the players are going to say, hey, we don't want the cap on what are capable of making. That's going to be their argument. They don't want a cap because it's going to limit it. And it's funny because it does, in theory, limit some of the top guys, right? But overall, the average, and the top guys are still going to make a killing, don't get me wrong. They're just not going to be able to make what they're making right now. Because if they do, their team's not going to win.
What was the lowest payroll again?
78.
And they'd have to go to 150?
171.
Oh, like that's...
Yeah, it's not even...
Come on, boys, the PA. Let's run the numbers here.
But the highest one is 334, and they'd have to go down to 245. So that's what I'm saying. Those two cancel each other out. So you'd literally have to go, the next one is 300, so they'd have to go 55 down. Cleveland is 80, so they'd have to go 90 up. So that's still a win from the bottom floor. So would there be more money in the overall pot? Probably.
Significantly.
Yeah, I would think so. I'd like to do the math on that to just add it up every team, but it is a fascinating one to watch because there's a lot of people much more closely following MLB who think this one's going to go to a coup strike lockout because MLB PA has always had, everybody perceives them to have the best PA because they've never had a cap. And they'd like to get a cap, but times change, man. And all I say is, I don't like it. I just look at the history. And the billionaires have outlasted the millionaires every other time.
So right now it's a luxury tax, right?
There is a luxury tax that goes on top, yes.
And how does that work?
Well, so you pay, once you're above it, then you have to pay, you get punished at like $2 to $1 kind of rate. But these teams, they don't care. That's how much money they're making. They don't care. So I can get why the PA says, wait a sec, you guys are making so much that you're not even worried about having to pay double for the luxury tax.
What do they do with that tax revenue?
That's a good question. I don't know exactly. I should look up exactly where it goes. I think it goes back to the league, but it doesn't go it doesn't reinvest itself back to the players.
It doesn't?
No, I think some of it goes to like a player fund, but it's not like it's money in your pocket because like the payroll's the payroll. Like Miami's paying $78 million. So because the other teams are getting punished by paying a punishment fee of it, it's not going directly to the player.
Is there escrow in MLB?
No, it's just the luxury tax.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no escrow for the players.
I wonder if they're going to try and argue over escrow too, because I know that's contentious, right?
Oh, they will. Yeah. Well, you look at NHL, the escrow has pretty much gone away.
Has it?
It will be, yes. So, because their escrow was, the big escrow payments came from COVID, where the owners didn't make any money. Now they had to pay it back. It's basically how that worked. So, most years there isn't, right? So, and the players like it, which I totally understand because they're getting their full salary all the time. Anyway, let's get back to some of the other stats. 5th Game 7 of the playoffs. That ties the most in the NBA. As mentioned, Game 1 was very tight, but since then it's kind of been blowouts. 27, 21, 15 points, 13 points. So will we see a close Game 7? I hope so, but Games 2 to 6 would suggest otherwise. How about the New York Knicks? They'll be the first team in NBA history to face 3 teams who are coming off a Game 7. The 76ers, the Cavaliers, and now either the Spurs or the Thunder. Now, obviously, they'll have the biggest rest advantage of any team ever. with 12 days. And kudos to, I got those stats from Doug Clausen. So thank you, Dougie, for that. Now, I talked about this earlier very briefly, but did we witness, technically, mathematically, the greatest upset in sports history yesterday? So you had young Sarandolo, who wasn't ranked, playing against the number 1 ranked Sinner in tennis. And Sinner won the first set 6-3. He won the second set 6-2. And then he was up 5-1 in the third set, but then he cramped up. Now, I saw even tennis guys like Jim Courier and them were saying this is a joke, because usually you can get an injury timeout, but he got like a cramp and supposedly that's doesn't fall under. Like he went back into a room, into like an air conditioning room, because basically he was overheating. He's got too hot. It's pretty hot there. So he comes back out. He was up 5-1. He was 1 game away from winning. At that point, the live odds were minus 50,000. Minus 50,000, which is a implied win percentage of 99.8%. But he didn't win. He lost the third set 7-5. Then he lost 6-1, 6-1. So from a going into the match, it was the number 1 ranked guy, Sinner. He doesn't lose, right, against an unranked guy. So right off the bat, I think he went in, he's like minus 25,000. You'd have had to bet that much money, like crazy. At one point in the match, it went up to minus 50,000. So as I said, that's 99.8. So can you think of an upset that was that close? He was 1 game away. Now, we did get the text, hey, guys, what about, I got this. I want to read it. I want to get the right tweeter's name from Bobo Kramer, the ass man. And he mentioned that, what about Rafael when Rafa lost at the 2009 French Open to Soderling? Good one. Really good, because at that point, Rafa was undefeated. He was great. But Soderling actually won the first game, then they tied, and then he won game 3 and 4. So Rafa never really led in the match. Now, was he a favorite going in? 100%, but he wasn't 1 game away. So I'm just talking from a mathematical standpoint. Can you think of a bigger upset in pro history? Like, because this is a major. This is not, Joe Average tournament. This is a major. So, it's kind of like playoffs. Can you think of a game or a series anywhere that's that close of an upset? 99.8% win percentage.
Didn't the Lakers come back from a really crazy deficit this year? And it was
not in the playoffs, though. I'm talking, it's got to be, to me, this has got to be playoffs. Like, you're in a major, that's kind of like the playoffs of tennis, right? That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong. So, tennis guys might argue with me, and that's totally okay. But yeah, the Lakers came back. Like, we've seen, big deficits overcome in regular season games at times. Like in the playoffs, I would think Tennessee's miracle, Connor Halley, right? Was it Tennessee that was down, right? What about
O'Neal, the Frank White check to Dyson?
Also, wasn't it the Houston Oilers when they were up 35-3 and then they lost 38-35? So I'd like to, but I have to do the math equation. When it was 35-3, what was the win probability? And was it the favorite? Now, I know that Sinner got hurt, so that's probably the asterisk here, right? Well, not hurt, but he was cramping. He clearly couldn't play. Like, if you watched him, dude, he was returning balls like I would. And actually probably still harder than I would. But, you watch these tennis guys, they're freaks. And it was almost comedic watching him play. He was just trying to grind it out, but he could barely move.
Can you call for like a medical end to the match?
Well, he could. Well, you'd have to default and you'd lose.
Right.
So that's why, that's why I went in the room, the cramping, and people said, hey, this is a little bit, they thought, suspicious, because normally you don't get that much time, but he's the number 1 seed, So I think they're trying to give him every benefit of the doubt. But from a mathematical standpoint, and even like a number 1 seed like that overall to an unranked player, that's a pretty big upset.
Those other teams you mentioned in those games don't have the incoming spread of that type of upset, right?
Yes. And also the Montreal Canadiens. Right now, it'd be considered a pretty big upset for them to come back. They have 43 shots on goal in the last. Look at Carolina. Here's the numbers, and then we'll go to break. So this is how dominant Carolina has been in the postseason so far this year. The Hurricanes are 11-1 in the playoffs. In their 11 wins, they've outscored teams 34-14 and outshot them 380-244. Their lone loss came in game 1 of this series when they did actually outshoot Montreal 28-22, but they lost 6-2. That came after an 11-day break. Little rusty. So in their last 3 games, since losing that game, Montreal has a grand total of 4 goals in 3 games. And so they're averaging 1.3 goals per game and 14.3 shots per game. I'm telling you, it's over. If there was ever a time to say that it's over, it's over. I just do not see how much. I hope I'm wrong, but this series is over, baby. The Carolina Hurricanes have been dominant all playoffs, except for one game when they had an 11-day layoff. Other than that, it has been ass kick city for them. We'll come back, talk about a unique setup, and will the drought finally end? We'll discuss it on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It doesn't start on game day. It starts before kickoff, before the first snap. It starts with you locking in your season seats. This is Edmonton Elks football. The only way to experience it is being there for every hit, catch, and touchdown. The Elks home opener kicks off June 20th against Montreal. Your season seats are your way in. Get yours now at goelks.com/season seats. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shaq-repeated memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pic for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces. Exclusively at the Brick. Saving you more.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC.
No one's ever accused car shopping to be fun. I mean, think about it. Awkward standoffs to get a price. Let me go talk to my manager. Dealers asking for your credit card, then melting your phone if you say no. See, not fun. At Northgate, I promise you a different experience. We make it fun. And you will like us, I promise. 0% financing, a great selection of new and pre-owned units. So for some fun, stop in today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com. The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loads with ASV Aussie Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to the Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. How you doing on a positive Friday? Lovely day outside. A little bit rainy, depending on where you're at, but should be good. And then Sunday, it's going to be a little bit real rainy, potentially. So, hey, we had some heat, and the heat's coming again. So, mixing a little bit of rain, and we should be just fine. Good news for sports fans. Man, there's no shortage of sports. You've got Riverhawks homestand, first of the season kicking off tonight. You got the Elks at Clark Stadium for their final preseason game, and then they're on the road in Ottawa to kick off a season next Saturday. Of course, we still got the Stanley Cup will get going next week. NBA Finals will get going next week. We got the World Cup coming up. We got a friendly in Edmonton on Monday for Canada. We got the draft next month. We got free agency. There's never a shortage of sports going on. So I love it. Just as one slows down, another one starts up. CFL, awesome. You got the Riverhawks, fantastic. I love it. Now, let's get to In the Room, brought to you by Action Electrical. Where? You want to take action on your savings? You've been thinking about it? Well, stop thinking. Start acting. For commercial solar builders. If you are a commercial building owner, you install solar, you qualify for up to 30% federal tax credit and accelerated capital cost allowance. Benefits, learn more at actionelectrical.net. As Rod Peterson, host of the Rod Peterson Show, joined us. RP, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, Gregor. How you doing, man? Happy Friday.
Hey, yeah, happy Friday to you. It's good. Maybe a little bit of rain here tonight, but they're going old school in Edmonton at Clark for one final time. Hasn't been a game at Clark since like 1977, I think it is. So small venue. It should be intimate. It should be fun. The Elks have improved their offensive line significantly. I think their defense overall is better. Where do you come out on? Like Cody Fajardo, to me, is now he's got to show something this year. I talked to Cody, and you know what? Like when you're never running with the number ones, he felt like he was playing catch up all year last year because he didn't come in, I think, until week 6 or 7. What do you make of that? And what do you think Fajardo can do? Can he lead the Elks to a playoff berth?
Well, I hope so. I talked to him this winter. He almost didn't come back. He had the coaching offer at Nevada. But he said, what is he, 33, 34? Mm-hmm. He said, some of the best CFL quarterbacks don't even hit their peak until their mid-30s. Like I don't know what he said to you guys, but he said he personally thinks the best may still be to come. And 2 days into training camp, he said that they could be Grey Cup contenders. Now, if you know Cody, that's just Cody, but he definitely thinks that they're better. But my thing is, Jason, you and I know each other a long time. It's like, how about let's just try not to be in last place? Let's get into the playoffs. You know what I mean? But it's a 9-team league, so maybe they could be Grey Cup contenders. I have a lot of faith in Ned Hervey, just like you do, and I have a hell of a lot of faith in Cody. And I know his teammates love him. So I would be very optimistic if I was an Edmonton fan. And if Cody says he thinks the best may still be to come for him, who are we to doubt it?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I like historically he's been a quarterback at times who is cautious to want to throw into tight spaces. That's kind of being, hey, that's a scouting report, right? So I think that, with Mac here, who he had success with in Montreal, and Robustelli and Mathis, like they got Julian Grant, and then obviously Rankin, who's maybe the best running back in the league. Like he's got weapons, but more importantly, Rod, his offensive line has improved so much that should just magically make his job a lot easier. Well,
I hope so. I mean, that we'll see tonight at Clark, which, by the way, how many people are they going to put in there?
I think they can put just around 7.
Oh, well, that'll be awesome. First ever football game I ever called was there. Regina Rams at the Edmonton Huskies way back 1,000 years ago. So, yeah, I love Clark Stadium.
Me too. I called many Husky and Wildcats games there. It's a great venue to call a game.
It's amazing. It's amazing. They've done a great job with it. So, no, I'm pulling for Cody. I'm pulling for Mark Killam. He said in the interview, like this was on my show, he was on this winter from Nevada, and he said him and Killam have a special relationship. And I mean, you watch all the games, I guess they get after each other and they yell at each other, which is kind of what you want. You ever seen Bo Nix and Sean Payton go after each other? Like that's all kinds of good for the Elks and your fans, I would think.
Yeah, like Killam, I think the biggest difference in Edmonton, like their coaching staff has way more experience. I think that helps. Like Mark admitted it, JC Sherrod at times was, to quote McTavish, it's like you're drinking out of a fire hose early on in the season. And their defense was extremely passive the first 9 games. And then they got better in the second half. The numbers showed it. And the thing for the Elks, and this might sound like an over-exaggeration, Rod, but since they became the Elks, I'm going to argue that next Saturday's game in Ottawa is the most important game in franchise history as the Elks franchise. They haven't made the playoffs. Rod, they've never won their first game of the season as the Elks. They haven't won the first game of the season since 2018, right? Like it's been a long time. And because you have a bye in week 2, if you win on the road in week 1, it's 2 weeks of positivity leading to your home opener.
Well, and there would be facing an Ottawa team that's going through some things too. Like there was a lot of eyebrows raised when Ryan Dinwiddie tabbed Jake Mayer as their starter for week. Well, basically he said he's our number 1 moving forward and that he sat both quarterbacks down. So Ottawa, they're probably thinking it's the biggest game for them in a long time too. So there's going to be some beauties. I mean, that's the one thing about the CFL with it being the size of the league that it is. I feel every game's big, and you know what I'm talking about with that. Yeah. I also enjoy the karma thing. The people think, because of the name change that I don't know where you stand on that. I'm a God guy. I'm a karma guy. I don't know. I'd like to think that's not a thing, but it might be a thing. I don't know.
I would say this. Horrible managing is why they've lost, not because of the name change.
It all goes together.
Yeah, I can tell you that. So, looking at the league itself, a landmark deal for them announced by the commissioner in the league with the TV deal with TSN, and no longer them being the exclusive broadcaster starting in 27. They'll do 60 of the 81 regular season games, 6 of the 8 playoff games, and the Grey Cup. And DAZN will have their streaming sites. And then they're also going to do a lot on YouTube. I'll give the commissioner credit because when he took over, he said, we got to make changes. And he's made some rule changes. And now they make a significant TV change, but also one that's a significant, like the last deal, I think was $300 million. This one's going to be over $500 million. Like it's hard to argue this from a financial standpoint. If you're one of the owners of the league, you're thinking, hey, this is a good step in the right direction.
Well, if the figures are to be believed, and I have no reason to think why they're not. I mean, that's the salary cap jumping from $55 million per year to over 80 per year if you do that's a big jump. That's a really big jump. So that should be money for the players, money for the coaches. That's all great. If Stuart Johnston knows one thing, it's broadcast, right? I would think, Jason, there's some projection here. Like, how do they know how many people are going to subscribe to DAZN? I mean, I don't. Do you?
I don't know. Well, they've already got tons of people subscribing, right, who are NFL fans, right? So I think what they're doing is they're saying, hey, people are already on there. I would say you're going to have some CFL fans that do it, right? Like, you're going to have some who don't. And that's kind of the risk. Like, it's not a slam dunk. I just think it's a good educated bet to take it. It's kind of where sports is going. Like, I know people in Edmonton hate the fact that there's 2 or 3 Oiler games a year now that are on Prime and they're not on Sportsnet. And they're like, what the hell? I've had sports and now you got to pay for Prime, right? Like, you don't love it, but people will do it. And, you know, Daz and I think was $24 a month, something like that. Now you can go up if you want way more packages, but you know, if you're a sports fan, you won't just get it only for CFL games. You'll get it, and then you'll be able to watch some other games if you're interested.
Well, it's a bit of a gamble, but it's the way the big leagues are running now. For instance, in Florida, I pay $40 a month for ESPN Plus, which gives me every NHL game. To me, it's worth it, but I won't pay more for MLB. So I've hardly watched any baseball this year because you got to pay extra for it. So as a consumer and sports fans, we have to pick and choose what we want. So now the CFL has a year to make people really want to pay to watch the games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll be buying it. I mean, I don't have it, but I will be buying. I watch every CFL game. I think you do too. So I'm a proponent of it. Stuart was tasked to make money, and this is a way to do it. I think it's all kinds of great. I mean, so many CFL fans complain about everything anyways. It's hard to wade through who's got a legitimate beef and who doesn't. I'll say it again. I'm going to go broadcast baseball tonight, and I got to pay extra to watch the Stanley Cup final streaming, and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the East Conference final game 5 tonight.
Yeah.
And I will.
Yeah. And that's, you know, people will make a choice and that's their choice. Some are not going to like it. And I understand that. But I think overall, if you want to grow, unfortunately, in pro sports now, that's just the way it's going. All the other pro sports leagues all have it. And I think it was just a matter of time if you wanted to get in there. But now the other thing is the YouTube stuff, and that's all free. And they're going to have exclusive combine coverage. They're going to have lots of interviews and lots of other things that they needed to get in touch with the younger generation. And the younger generation resides a lot more on YouTube channels. So I think that's a really smart decision by the league.
Well, I do. I mean, you and I are the broadcasters. You're far more of a business person than me, but with Game Plus, the network that carries my show, they've moved us to YouTube and they said, this is where everybody's going. This is where the eyeballs are. So I'm like, it doesn't really change what I got to do. So I'm kind of going with what the leaders say. So I'm in favor of it. We have a year to decide whether we support it or not too. I mean, I think a lot of people it's sort of like the playoff change. I didn't really like that. I mean, I had the BC Lions owner on my show last week and he's like, let's give it a chance. He's like, there hasn't been a lot of changes made on the business side in the CFL for a long time. People have screamed for change. Amar's like, can we please get some support on this? And he's such a cool guy. I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Well, I didn't get that upset about the playoff change. I'm like, man, I remember for years, 6 out of 8 teams made it. Like if it's 8 out of 9, am I like, oh my God, that one extra team? Well, that's my line in the sand on my level of credibility. Like I can't get that upset about it. I love more playoff games. And I kind of like the fact that, you know, like the top teams, that game, that 1-2 game, it's got a lot on the line now. So I kind of like that for certain. Now I want to get your thoughts. I saw you tweet out today that, and you've been correct on a lot of these. Why are you so confident that Cassidy is going to be the next head coach of the Oilers?
Because I think he wants to be, and I think the Oilers want him. So number one, all I'll say on that is I've been told, I haven't talked to him, but from what I've been told, he believes it's a really good job, an attractive job. And why wouldn't it be? Right? Look who you're coaching. And with Kelly, I mean, anybody who spent 5 minutes working in the Dub when Kelly McCrimmon ran the Wheat Kings for a generation know this is the way that Kelly is. It was not a no, it was a not right now in terms of interviewing Bruce Cassidy. I gave you a lot of reasons. And another one is I don't believe Bill Foley and the Golden Knights want to pay Bruce $4.5 million next year to sit at home or golf. And I'm sure they'd like to get that off the books too. So this is the way Kelly operates. I think if there was anything real nefarious, and I believe John Shannon said it, was it on your show or somewhere in Edmonton, that Gary Bettman would step in if there was anything illegal or nefarious going on here. And he hasn't. So I believe when the playoffs are over, the Oilers will be granted permission. It's not a slam dunk. I'm just saying if they want him and Bruce wants to go to Edmonton, I believe it will happen.
Okay. Well, they're going to have to wait a few more weeks because Vegas, Rod, they got to focus on the playoffs. They don't have time to allow the coach who has nothing to do with the organization 30 seconds to grant him permission. It's just too time consuming. So we'll see if it happens. Like I'll say, hey, Vegas, you know what? They play the villain role incredibly well in the National Hockey League, and you can't argue their success 3 times to the Stanley Cup final in 9 years. It's pretty good. So I'll put you on the spot because I assume you're with me. You agree that Carolina is going to dispatch of Montreal. Like the Canadians are on life support now in the Eastern Conference. So who do you like in Carolina and Vegas, and why?
Well, I had a Carolina Winnipeg Stanley Cup going into the season. So I've been a believer in Carolina all the way along. Winnipeg, even they don't know what the hell happened. And with Vegas, they wouldn't be there if they hadn't made the change. I think we can all agree behind the bench, right? So I think this thing, Vegas is rolling, and there's a whole lot of this from the Golden Knights that's galvanized that team, whether it's Carter Hart, Tortorella, all the heat, they've been galvanized. I got to go with Vegas. I mean, I show errors in Vegas. So I said months ago, I'll always have their back no matter what. And I also believe that Kelly McCrimmon will do whatever it takes to win. And he's doing that. And I get what you're saying about that. They can't allow Bruce, the 30 seconds to let him. But how can you argue with what Kelly's saying? We need to focus on the playoffs. It's worked. So I think Vegas, they don't make mistakes. And they don't get lose.
Well, they've been pretty successful. You can't argue that one. Rod, have yourself a great day. Enjoy the games, and we'll chat with you again.
Thanks, Jason.
There you go. That's Rod Peterson. Good time to end that. He just got a little staticky there at the end. So we'll see where it goes here on a positive Friday. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Quick break. When we return, we are going to get to, we got 5 questions coming up a little bit later on. We got Craig Button, Mark Spector, LT, and more. And we'll have a fun little debate next. It's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Experience the home ice advantage with your window coverings. Knothole Blinds provides factory direct pricing and fast turnaround on rollers, zebra, blackout, drapery, and motorized blinds. Book a free in-home consultation at NovoBlinds.ca.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. Go Auto, get in the game.
Day or night, tasting just right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, Or you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
What's that? Is that actually spring? Like no snow squalls or bad weather tomorrow? It's actually spring? Well, GS Construction welcomes the warmer weather because that means we can really get to work. Now, it doesn't matter if there was bad weather. This is our time to shine. But we can't do it without good people to do that work. That's why GS Construction is hiring pipe layers, topmen, and heavy equipment operators. If you want to join a team who loves their work, visit gsconstruction.ca today.
This is you.
Hi.
And your cornhole team needs money.
Yeah, we do need money.
Plus, you've tried every fundraiser under the sun.
No kidding, and no one's buying my Cuban salted chocolate.
Scrap the chocolate and fundraise for your team, club, or charity at On the Rocks. Here's the deal. We'll create custom tickets for your event, which includes no cover, no line, and beverage before 10 p.m. Then you sell your tickets and keep all the profits.
That sounds easy.
It is. Fundraisers at On the Rocks. Book, party, cash. OnTheRocksYEG.com.
Only Crave has your favorite summer obsession, Love Island USA. The reality sensation is back.
Hello, Islanders.
And so is irresistible host Ariana Maddox.
Here's to a great summer of love.
Sexy singles, jaw-dropping drama. Who's ready to play? Love Island USA. The new season streams June 2nd. Only on Crave. Subscribe now at crave.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Looking for a tasty lunch? Papa John's has you covered. Get a small 2-topping pizza for only $9.99 with code S999 at papajohns.ca. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We roll on. Positive Friday. How are you? Gregor, Halley, Wanye Gretz, Donovan Paulson, along on a busy Friday afternoon. Hope you are having a lovely day. Tonight, if you're a Habs fan, dare to dream. Game 5. Must-win game. Canadians are 3-0. Must-win games this year. We got a lot of texts to get to. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, if Cassidy signs with Edmonton for $1 for 1 year, would Vegas have to pay him? Then Bruce creates the Cassidy clause where no coach in the future isn't free to talk to teams once let go. He could then have an option on 3 or more years of the money they agree to. Wonder how smart Kelly McCrimmon would see himself as being with that. Jeff, it's a nice theory. 0 chance it happens. So here's why. Because there's really no benefit for Bruce to do that. Because he can't sign a 1-year deal with Edmonton and then say for certain he's got another 3-year deal. Right? He's going to have to trust that he would get it. Well, what if the Oilers don't play well? So now he's made no extra money, but he's worked because he was getting $4.5 million anyway to work. So he wouldn't do it. I do think some coaches will look at maybe having the wording of their contracts changed, or they're not going to worry about it because it's a rarity. This hasn't happened very often. But like I said, if Vegas waits until the playoffs are over and then grants permission, I don't really have a huge problem with it, to be honest. You sign the contract. You know what the contract states. The contract states if you're fired, it doesn't say I have to grant you permission. Nowhere in the contract does it say it. So I don't really have that big of an issue. I can understand at the same time the frustration by Cassidy. I totally understand it. And it's kind of like an unwritten rule that you would grant permission, right? I will say I have unearthed. They talked about it a while back. They're like, oh, Vegas had a guy in their minors who they allowed to interview with the Oilers, but then when they offered him a job, they didn't give it to him. Well, I found out who that was. It was Joel Ward, who's currently an assistant coach in Vegas. And so they let him interview with the Oilers, and the Oilers Jay Woodcroft was going to hire him. And Vegas said, no, we want to keep him. And then they promoted him into Vegas, and then he was really the eye in the sky until Tortorella came, and now he's been on the bench. And so I think that they're obviously going to want to keep him because they feel like other people are interested. But that happened. Think about when Woodcroft took over, right? Like this many years ago. That's 2022 when he took over. Was it even 2021? I mean, 2021. To look back. 21 or 22? No, it's 22. And so there you go. So they let the guy interview, but then they didn't grant him to leave, which is a little bit odd, but they just said, no. Well, don't worry. We'll take care of you here in the organization. And they've lived up to their word. They've done it. I'm sure Ward wasn't happy at the time about it, but I think since then he's re-signed a contract extension, so he couldn't have been that mad. Because as a coach, it's not like you're an RFA. When your contract ends, you can just say, I don't want to re-up, I'm out. Right? Like there's no RFA. They don't get to retain your rights. So there is a little bit different on that one. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. When we asked earlier about hey guys, what about the Miracle on Ice? Yeah, Miracle on Ice was probably a big one for sure. But when you look, I'm talking in the game, there was never a time where Russia was up 3-0 and then they came back. Sinner was up 2-0, and he was up 5-1 in the third set before it all came crashing down. That's why.
And the spread between them going into it. It'd be like the USA playing Azerbaijan.
Yes.
And then coming back to lose. There isn't even a spread that big.
But the Miracle on Ice is definitely a big one. Hey, Greggs, what about the Red Sox in 2004? That's a good one, right? They're down 3-0. Were they not the first MLB team at the time to come back from a 3-0 deficit to win the series? So that would be a good one for sure.
Can I throw a soccer one at you guys?
Yeah.
Liverpool coming back. They were down 3-0 to Messi's prime Barcelona team in Champions League aggregate. Needed 4 goals. Down, they had a 1-0 lead at halftime, scored 3 goals in the second half.
Ooh, that's a pretty good one.
Like a good team.
But they're also a good team. But still, yeah.
Down Mo Salah, down another Bobby Firmino as well, 2 of their best players. Pretty epic at the time.
MTR says, hey, what about the Falcons-Pats Super Bowl? Well, it was 28-3. Now, the Pats were the favorite going in, but then they were trailing. At the half, it wouldn't have been minus 50,000, right? But that's still a good one for sure because it's the Super Bowl, right? Like, it's pretty good teams.
You're right. 50,000 might be like an all-time comeback.
Yes. Like, minus 50,000 to win. It's fine. It would be like, it's 28-3 with like 4 minutes left, and then you score 4 touchdowns. It's kind of what it'd be like. It's wild. Now, I know that there is the asterisk to this because he cramped up, but in any game, an injury can occur at any point. Like that's part of sports. Wouldn't be the first one, but there's some good ones for sure on great comebacks or not. Leicester City winning the Premier League. Yeah. But that's like a year-long thing, right? That was the only difference. It wasn't a one game, but over the year for sure, that is one of the most unexpected champions without question. So that's a good one, but I don't know if I'd have to go back and see, okay, what were they at the start of the year? Probably look it up and find out, like, what were they at the start of the year? Were they minus 50,000? Because and that's why I'm only going on mathematics here, because the rest is kind of opinion, but math is math. Can't really argue the math. Well, some people will try. I shouldn't say that because there are some politicians in the world at times who like to, fib on numbers, which I don't really understand why that is. I'd love it if we in Canada would and I don't care what party you're from. This is, to me, I don't care. Like I never understand people whose image is tied up with which party they vote for. I don't get it. But anyway, I wish, regardless of party, they put in that law that politicians aren't allowed to lie. That's what they've done in Europe. They put it in. Unbelievable. And I got to say I got to remember the country. Was it Denmark or Norway? Puts in a rule that they can't lie. Right? And because it's like when people say, well, it's politicians that we're accepting of it. Well, no. Why? It's like it's terrible.
So it's perjury considered, like as though you're in court?
Yes.
Are they allowed to lie outside of session? Or are they not allowed to lie ever?
Wales did it. They're the first country to legally allow the suspension or removal of politicians who deliberately lie or mislead the public. Damn rights. Like, why wouldn't we put this in? I love it. Absolutely love it. Right? It's tackling political deception and strengthen public accountability.
Totally.
That's what we should want. I don't care who you vote for. If you don't agree with this, then you're the problem. because you're basically saying, no, my party can lie, but not, and it should never be my party. Like, you should always question the party you vote for to say, hey, I want them to live up to what they say. I don't care which party you vote for, but then hold the party you vote for as strongly accountable as the one that you didn't vote for. And sadly, that's not where we're at. So Leicester was 5,000 to 1 at the start of the year. So there you go. I like it. Hey, guys, The Untold Jamie Vardy on Netflix. Great watch. I have that saved. I've seen it. I've heard good things about it. So I love those type of documentaries. So, yeah, I'm going to watch that. Might have to watch it this weekend. So
what sport?
Oh, soccer. Yeah. The Jamie Vardy story. Sick. Hey, guys, Barcelona scored 5 in the last 10 minutes against PSG in an elimination 15 years ago. What? That's a pretty good one, Mr. Maris. I like that.
Like 95th minute was the last goal.
Wow. So 4 goals in regulation, and then in extra time, they got the 5th. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty damn good. In soccer, especially. Like, dude, 5 goals in a 10, 15-minute span in soccer? Come on. That is, that's pretty rare.
Yeah, it was in the 88th, 90th, and then 95th. Who went on aggregate.
That is awesome. Awesome. 2017, right? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. These are some good, there's always some good upsets, man. Like, you think about it. But in that game, when you look at the odds, and we're talking about the Sinner match yesterday, he's the number 1 ranked player in the world. Now, I know he cramped up. But the thing is, like, he wasn't the only player to ever play in the heat of Roland Garros, right? Everybody else is playing in it. He just cramped up. That's part of sports. And he was leading. He was up 2-0. He was leading 5-1 in the 3rd set against an unranked opponent. He only needed 1 game left to win. Couldn't get it. It's amazing to me.
I wonder if anyone live bet the comeback. Someone from the old country put a shekel down.
No, I doubt they would.
What about as the comeback started to occur? Do you think anybody got in early during the comeback?
I never saw anything, so I'm guessing no.
Wow.
Yeah. So even $2 would have been worth it. Right? Why not? So there you go. 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, how about an advanced prediction on the greatest comeback? Connor McDavid signs a 5-year contract. Happy Positive Friday, Peter. Never know, Peter. Never know. I could see McDavid being in a state of his career where he just signs 2-3 years at a time. That's it.
Keep him honest.
I could see it doing it. So we'll see. Hey, Greg's Positive Friday. Good for you about talking about suicide. After a dark period myself, I have taken to asking all my friends, hey, how are you doing? How's your mental health? Want to chat? It's in the vault, pal. Over the course of time, I find it opens the door for conversations. I admire you for consistently talking about this issue. Well done. That one comes from Mark. Well, Mark, I appreciate that in a Positive Friday. And we started the show talking about Claude Lemieux, who unfortunately died from suicide, and just how prevalent it is, especially for men, right? The age group 45 to 65 is the one that has the highest rank. But just little things like, you can look at, especially parents of boys, like boys 16 to 20, 5 times more likely than girls to die by suicide. 20 to 26 actually goes up to 6 times. It's a big problem. And there's lots of different reasons for it. But if we never address it and never bring it to the forefront, it's never going to get better, right? Your loved ones, you matter more than you think, right? Young men, trust me, your parents, your friends, your siblings, aunts, uncles, trust me, you mean more than you think you know, for certain. So if you're ever feeling it, and it's okay to feel it. It's okay to feel in the dumps. Go talk to someone. Tell your inner circle. I would think, and more often than not, you'll get the support you need. Hopefully you do. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They're here for all your vehicle needs and more with their digital vehicle report. They don't just tell you what your car needs. They'll show you awesome stuff. Book your appointment today, fountaintire.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final goes tonight from Raleigh, North Carolina, as the Hurricanes host the Canadians just after 6 o'clock. Canes lead the series 3-1 in the majors. Jays taking on the Orioles once again in Baltimore, 5 o'clock start time. We'll join that game in progress on our AM feed following the Jason Gregor Show. Also, our Padres head to Washington. The Guardians hosting the Red Sox. Angels get the Rays. Rangers, Royals, Brewers in Houston. Yankees taking on the Athletics. Mariners up against the Diamondbacks. While the Phillies in LA for a matchup with the Dodgers. In the CFL, the final week of the preseason kicks off and wraps up tonight. Elks and Stamps from Park Stadium at 7 o'clock. You've also got the Bombers and Lions, Montreal and Ottawa, and Toronto taking on Hamilton. Also tonight, Riverhawks in action, kicking off their season with Wenatchee in town all weekend. First pitch, 7 o'clock down at Remax Field. And in the Memorial Cup, Chicoutimi takes on Everett at 7. The winner advancing to Sunday's final against the Kitchener Rangers at 5 o'clock. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning, ask 5 questions, and be joined by Craig Button from the NHL on TSN. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
Get ready for a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. The Gene Simmons Band, performing your favorite classic hits. Monday, November 30th at Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Tickets on sale now at silenticecenter.com. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I've got some good news if you've been thinking about a heavy-duty truck. The 2026 Ram 2500 Black Express is now at St. Albert Dodge. You've got 20-inch black aluminum wheels, black Mopar side steps, body color, bumpers and grille, and a sport performance hood. Available in all the colors for $68,990. Plus, new this year, Ram's best-in-class 10-year powertrain warranty. Now's the time. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All Star Construction is all about.
The puck is passed up through the neutral zone, and here's a breakaway. He's coming in hot. He shoots it. Oh, no, a broken stick.
When it comes to performance, quality parts matter. Napa Auto Parts has all the reliable parts, tools, and more to keep your vehicle running like a playoff contender. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips, we fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
4:07. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Sports 1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Happy Positive Friday for you. Now, it might be not positive for all of those who love to get excited about players that they've watched twice or never watched. But I know Oilers Nation's in a tizzy because Maxim Bereskin, rumors are that he is now going to stay in the KHL for 2 more years, and he's not coming to Edmonton, and people are freaking. I don't honestly, I can't say how good he is, but I can't get that upset over a player that I've never watched. You know how many players, come here and never live up to the hype, right? Like, it's interesting to me that, and I understand why he chose to stay there. Finances is probably part of it, but you're Russian. It's a Russian culture. Everything's there. The food, everything you like. And you could come to Edmonton on a team that's trying to win the Stanley Cup. They can't guarantee you anything, nor should they. Right? You can't sit there and say, wow, the organization should have guaranteed him. How can you say that? You don't know how good he's going to be. Because honestly, how he plays in the KHL doesn't really matter. It's how is he going to play in the NHL? How is he going to adapt to the lifestyle? All many different things. So it's unfortunate he signed for 2 years. Could he come over at 26? He could. And maybe by then he'll feel, hey, you know what? I got a little bit more financially secure because 2 more years of the contract. And if I have to take a little bit less money for a year, I'll do it. All right. Something to consider. Now, the other thing is I got to look it up, but I think he might be a free agent in 2 years. Maybe the owner still retain his rights. I got to double check on that. That I don't know for sure. I know the max contract he could get right now, he's 24, would be a 1-year deal. So it'll only be a 1-year deal at 26 anyway. But it's it's hard to get that upset over a player and say, well, the organization should have done this or that. Why? They can't guarantee him ice time. They can't do it. You're trying to win the cup, right? That's the motivation for the Oilers right now. They want to win. You can't guarantee anybody anything. And rarely do players ever get guaranteed something. So it's another myth that I think has been repeated numerous times, and people believe it. That, well, yeah, if you come here, coach is going to play you 15 minutes. What? You got any proof of that? Like, it's hard to do.
And a career in the KHL, to many Russian players, is great. And it's good money. And you're with your family and your friends. Like you said, the culture that you know.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons why he could stay there. I totally understand it. So, and again, could he have been a good player? Maybe. He's not a for sure thing. And when I look at the Edmonton Oilers, like, hey, they hit the Josh Szymanski jackpot right now. If Josh Szymanski turns out to be if he's just a 4th-line player and he's a regular center who kills penalties, like, that's a hell of a find. Hell of a find for your pro scouts to find that in Europe. So, to think that you'd get another one in a second year, like, maybe, but it's pretty hard to do. So, I look at the Oilers and, I saw Staff talk about, they need a top 6 forward. And what? Like, I don't know, unless Nugent Hopkins would be a 3rd-line center. You've got Hyman. You've got, like, Podkolzin to me is a top 6 forward. Look at his production 5-on-5. He is a legit top 6 forward. I think Matt Savoy is. I think Hyman is. Podkolzin. I look obviously Draisaitl and McDavid. I don't think I have to mention them, but I think you need to. Isaac Howard, I think they believe has a good chance to replace Jack Roslovic. Right, Jack Roslovic made $1.5 million last year. Obviously, Howard's even less at $972,000. He obviously has some bonuses on top of that if he makes it, but that's how I view it. Could you find like a top 9 forward? Sure. Because some top 9 can be in a 2nd line for 30 games, 3rd line for 30 games, and they can fit comfortably on both. But whoever they sign, like, finding more offense would be nice. If you don't find guys who are going to commit to defense, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. I'm sorry, but every conversation about the Oilers this summer, like, that's nice. But at least list it. Okay, I think priority number 4 should be add offense. Okay, now we're on the same page. But it's not priority 1, it's not priority 2, and it's not even priority 3. If you want to say priority 4 is to add some scoring, I could live with that. Anything else, it's misguided, and it's going to be the same old, same old. It's just how I see it. Where do you see it?
if the Iceman could come in and step in for Jack Roslovic next year, my year is already made. How's that sound?
Yeah, like a different player for sure. But I do think they're going to look at him as a guy who has a possibility. I think he'll get opportunities. Right now, he's got to earn it. They're not just going to gift it to him. Right? Like Matt Savoy came in and played 13 minutes a night for the majority of the season. A lot of it was on the penalty kill. Totally fine. I have no issue with it. And you know what? I would expect that Matt in his second NHL season is going to feel more comfortable. He's going to be a little bit stronger, right? Lots of things. He'll read the play better. It's just how it goes from being in the league and playing as many minutes as he did last year, right? Like I had lower expectations in the playoffs because most players' first time in the playoffs isn't what you expect it to be. For a lot of guys, it's harder. It just is. So, and I'm not saying Howard's a lock to do it, right? But Kasperi Kapanen is a guy who he had, pretty productive player. Could he be a regular free agent? Could he be a 20? He's been a 20-goal scorer before. Could he do it again? It's realistic to think he could. So, Podkolzin, I don't think Podkolzin's been a steady incline. I didn't see last year Podkolzin have this crazy, ridiculous shooting percentage. He was scoring 5-on-5. And, does he get some power play time moving forward? Maybe. And if he does, then in theory, he might get a few extra goals just because it is a little bit easier to score on the power play. And, they'll sign someone else. Right? But I don't know if I know for a fact, top 3 priorities of the order should not be out to get a top 6 scoring winger. I'm sorry. Just can't be. Especially when there's none out there in free agency. You're not getting Alex Tuch. Who are you getting? Right now, maybe you could find another Jack Roslovic. Very possible. Right? But with more salary cap around, it might be harder to find a 20-goal scorer for $1.50, before training camp starts. We'll see. But Oilers and top 6 guy, I don't know. Hey, guys, do you think Nugent Hopkins' time has expired here? No. Nugent Hopkins contributes in lots of different areas. He's never been a massive 5-on-5 scorer, ever. So stop expecting to be something he's never been. Right? He plays an integral part on your power play. More important than people think. He can kill penalties, and he can fill in, play 5-on-5. When he plays with McDavid, his biggest contribution to McDavid is he puts the puck on his tape repeatedly. Don't underestimate how important that is, especially for a guy who's wound a little tight like McDavid. Right now, we can get in a whole conversation that, hey, if you're going to play an Isaac Howard with McDavid's going to have to learn to be a little bit more patient and understand that the guys sometimes aren't going to have pinpoint passing every time. Deal with it. Lots of guys don't. You can still succeed and you can still do a lot of good things. Can't freak out. You don't get a few passes. Hey, boys, what do you think happens with Michkov in Philadelphia? I think Michkov's a prime example of people getting frustrated and wanting to rush a young player. Right? He came in, his first year, 26 goals, and you just think it's automatically going to be escalator up. It's not. There's some learning curves there, right? Teams around the league maybe play him a little bit different. Right? He's only 21 years of age. He wouldn't be the first guy if you believe in a sophomore slump. But even if he had what you call a sophomore slump, he still scored 20 goals again. Right? It wasn't awful. It wasn't as good offensively as his first year. But he's a young player. He's a really young player. Right? He's had 2 years in the NHL, and he's just 21 years of age. So on a Philadelphia team that is not blessed with an abundance of high offensive players, you got Tippett, you got Konechny, and you got Zegras. Dvorak's a good player. Bobby Brink. Well, he's gone now, but who else they got there? They don't have any high octane. Oh, Porter Martone, the young kid, he looks pretty good. But if I'm Philadelphia, this is a classic case of patience. Patience with him. I don't now, if they are willing to want to trade him, I would definitely, want him to be part of that conversation just to see, because I don't know if you're going to have to get him at where you'll be buying high off of him. But he still scored 20 goals. Right? So even in a down year, the 20 goals is still pretty damn good. So I would like to hope that there's lots of patience in Philly when it comes to Michkov. When we come back, Craig Button will join us. We'll talk NHL playoffs. We'll also talk the Memorial Cup. And we are officially 4 weeks away from the NHL draft. Now, the Oilers don't have a first-round pick, but there's lots of local kids who will be in there, some first-rounders. So we'll talk. We're going to preview a few guys every week here with Craig leading up to the draft. Coming up next, it's Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
At Papa John's, get your everyday favorites for just $9.99 each when you order 2 or more items from the Papa Pairings menu. When you order more, you save more. Choose from medium one-topping pizzas, boneless wings, papadillas, breadsticks, cheese sticks, and desserts. It's easy to order all your favorites when they're just $9.99 each. So the next time your friends come over to eat your food, order off the Papa Pairings menu and save. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
May brings more of what you're looking for at Wolf GMC Buick. The selection, never better. The savings up to $12,000 when you combine cash discounts on your new 2026 Sierra 1500 pickup. Up to $1,750 in cash rebates on remaining 2025 Terrain SUVs. Plus 0% financing up to 72 months on most models. And ask about the truck trade-in bonus of up to $1,500 on select new in-stock Sierra 1500s.
Wolf GMC Buick, we're making it easy.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shacopedic memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pick for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces exclusively at The Brick, saving you more.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Showman for the game live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
The Edmonton Riverhawks return tonight. Join the best party in the River Valley with 27 theme nights like Paws in the Park, Star Wars, and Margaritaville. Don't miss opening weekend. Tickets start at $21 at tickets@gohawks.ca.
Shoulder pain. It can make even the simplest things like reaching up, lifting a bag, brushing your teeth, or sleeping frustrating. Rotator cuff strains, impingement, arthritis, they're some of the most common issues we treat every day. I'm Grant Fedoruk, and at Leading Edge Physio, our team brings postgraduate training, evidence-based technology, and just the right amount of humor and humility to help you feel better. Because we never forget the most important part, the gratitude we feel for every patient who allows us the opportunity to care for them. Because life shouldn't hurt. When it does, leadingedgephysio.com.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well, restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At Wendy's, get a 10-piece nugget small combo for just $8.99. That's right, $8.99 for 100% Canadian chicken, plus fries and a drink. That's just good nuggenomics. Only until June 14th. In restaurant at participating Wendy's locations. Taxes extra.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The funny thing about hitting the road to leave it all behind is you don't really want to leave it all behind. So Sherwood Honda has the SUV with plenty of room for all you want with you. Think Honda CR-V, the Honda Pilot, or maybe even a Ridgeline truck. With this kind of lineup, you can go where you want and bring all you want with you. You sure would make it easy to leave your cares behind by starting at Sherwood Honda.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ul.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ul.ca, your partners in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Positive Friday. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We got a few texts coming in. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where, of course, get your tickets. Lotto Max tonight, $10 million and 10 prizes of $100,000. And while you're there, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials for you. We got, the Jays on the road. Vladdy Guerrero, we're two throwing. And how about an Ernie Clement? Very specific today, a little double for you. So, also, we'll just go with the newcomer to get his first ever hit in McAdoo. How about that one? First game, get a hit? Why not? So, and of course, hey, the Hurricanes to win. Not probably not a shock there, but under 5.5. The Habs, can they score? Can they get some shots? That, Bob, is the question of the day. We'll see. We're trying to track down Craig Button, so he should be joining us. But while we wait for Butts, let's get to the 2-minute warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Now bundle it up with your furnace. Save even more. LegacyHeating.ca. 2-minute warning, of course, Cam Tate. He is a longtime journalist in town. Tater, born with cerebral palsy. Cam is in a wheelchair. Has never let him slow him down. 45 years in the industry. And Tater's always wanted to be on radio. And so through the wonders of technology, his words come to life in the 2-minute warning. And on Positive Friday, he gives me the honor to read his own 2-minute warning. So here is Tater's words in my voice on a Positive Friday. I don't know what you're doing right now. I don't know where you are driving or where you are sitting. But I want you to look at your phone right now. Your phone, you use it almost all the time. Texting, emailing, calling. But do you need it today? I mean, do you really need it? I bring this up because of what Gregor talked about at the top of the show. We'll get back to Sports Monday. We'll get back to the last. But today I need to carry his message. He talked about the passing of Claude Lemieux by suicide. It makes us stop hard right in our tracks. We wonder why. I wonder why someone, a pro athlete, could feel like there was no way out. The number of men we lose are staggering. We have trouble sharing our feelings. My dad, the greatest man I will ever know, the funniest man I will ever know. He sacrificed everything for me. We talked hockey. We talked about the Rough Riders, curling. But we could not get deep. We could not talk about the heavy things. Please, look at your phone again. I need to share this. In 1988, I was 9 years into my career. It was going great. My own house, good friends. I had it going on. I was planning to propose to someone that Christmas. It did not happen. I was crushed. All the daily challenges of living with a disability were a walk in the park compared to that deep disappointment. My doctor prescribed sleeping pills. I could not sleep. Then the night came. The pain was numbing. My self-worth was gone. I felt I could not go on. I got up, landed in my wheelchair. I opened the green door. The sleeping pills were right there, a full bottle. I looked at it hard. I made a phone call that night. Things fell apart. Then they came back together. I found a voice. I found my footing. I found a way back. That phone call saved me that night. If you need it, I'm sure you'll make the same call. Today, tonight, whenever. Just make it. Stay with us. Now, please, look at your phone. It's always there, isn't it? Use it. Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. Well, Tater, we're happy that to use the phone that night. And you know what? We had others text in. Keith texted into the show earlier who had mentioned that when he was 25, I'll read his words. At 25, I attempted suicide. And at the time, I thought I was doing everyone a favor by checking out. I was convinced that me leaving was relieving a burden on the people around me. Luckily, it didn't work. And now I have 2 sons and my life is so much better. I'm glad I made it through for my boys. It's true, man. So Keith and Tater and everybody else, you're not alone. There's other people being in that situation. Some maybe went to the level of Keith and tried it and thankfully it didn't work. And you're always more loved and more important to people in your life than you probably realize. Even when things are bleak and you feel like, you know what, maybe I'm not being able to provide as much as I like right now. I'm not, a lot of times they say for men, you get into a situation where you feel like you're not providing, you're useless. And that takes men down a really dangerous, dark path. And then there's lots of other reasons why. And so if you're ever feeling that way, please reach out to someone because you are more important than you think. And you're definitely more loved by someone or usually many people in your life that you're unaware of. So hopefully, like Tater, you make that phone call. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center. They are hosting Gene Simmons in November. Tickets on sale now. They're going fast, man. It's a smaller, intimate venue. And those venues usually are the best. You're closer. Acoustics are awesome. So it's a great place. Get your tickets, silenticecenter.com. And so we are joined by Stanley Cup winner, former NHL GM and scout, now ace analyst and scout for TSN. Of course, he's in Kelowna at the Memorial Cup. Craig Button joins us. Butts, how you doing?
I am doing good. And first things first, and we all have to be reminded of this. And kudos to you for having a PSA to reach out to people, check in. And if things don't seem right, they might not be right. So just try to make sure that you're checking in on people that may need a little boost, a little help. And as you pointed out, Jason, you know what? You're more loved than you may ever know.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Craig, let's get to the Memorial Cup. I see a lot of people because Kelowna, they only score 2 goals in a tournament, and everyone's like, man, do we need a host city or not moving forward? And this happens sometimes. The host isn't good one year, but I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction. I get why you want the host city involved. The fans buy tickets for their team. Like, do you think they would ever consider going back and just, having, one of the 3 teams and they decide that year and you basically have a week to host it? Or is that just not feasible?
Well, I think the first thing is I think it's knee-jerk. There's so much that the CHL puts into putting on an event like this. And so if you pick a time during the season, and you say, okay, you know, back in 1993, Peterborough and Sault Ste. Marie had a super series. They had a super series to determine who would host the Memorial Cup. And Sault Ste. Marie won it. Then Peterborough and Sault Ste. Marie played in the OHL final, and Peterborough won that. Ultimately, Sault Ste. Marie won the Memorial Cup. But you're not only trying to get a community involved, but you're also selling sponsorships, and people want to know where it is. And so it has to be planned out. And listen, we can look at Kelowna and say, hey, okay, they only scored 2 goals. A lot changed, you know, from the time they awarded the Memorial Cup to the time the Memorial Cup started. And a lot of that was with the advent of the CHL players being able to go and play in the NCAA. Like Bruce Hamilton had a trade made for Clark Caswell from the Swift Current Broncos. And Clark informed him he was going to Denver. Now, you can't blame Clark. He ended up winning a national championship with Denver. So now where the planning is, and, you know, you're a year out when you go for the host, you're trying to plan out your cycle. We always knew the junior cycle is a 3-year cycle, so to speak, maybe extends to 3.5, 4 years in rare cases. But now that cycle might be 2 years, and you don't know what's going to happen and what players may want to leave. You know, the NHL now and the CHL is talking about having one 19-year-old from each organization potentially playing the American Hockey League. That impacts now. So there's a lot of moving parts, and I know that Dan McKenzie and the commissioners are working hard to try to find that. But I mean, St. John Sea Dogs, they won the Memorial Cup back in St. John. Kamloops was a wonderful host. Rimouski was a wonderful host. Yeah, we'd like them to be a little bit better, as good as possible. But I think this is a one-off, and I think what we have to keep in mind is that Kelowna is a storied CHL franchise, and it's run exceptionally well by the Hamilton family, led by Bruce. And you think about a great venue to have the Memorial Cup. Well, you know, there might be some as good. They're not better than Kelowna. So I would tell everybody, you know what, just sit back, chill, enjoy the games, and realize that sometimes you get a year like this.
Yeah, and I was looking it up. If you look at out of the last 10 Memorial Cups, the host team has won 3 of them. So if that's 3 out of 10, which is higher, if your odds are 1 in 4, right, 25%, then they're winning more than their share. So, you know, 2 of the last 4, St. John Sea Dogs won it in 22, Saginaw won it in 24. You know, so it's not completely unheard of by any stretch of the imagination to see them be competitive in it at all. So there you go. Now, looking at the NHL, Craig, and we've got Vegas in, and Carolina is as close as getting in without not getting in.
It's all in there.
Yeah, and so I look at this Vegas team, and now barring a surprise comeback here, because Montreal is just being lambasted 3 games in a row. Who do you like between Vegas and Carolina?
Yeah, can I just make a quick comment about Montreal?
Yeah.
And I like the way you used it last case. You know, you go on shows and what's it going to take for Montreal to beat Carolina in 1 game? I mean, I want to say to people, have you not been watching the last 3 games? Like, I mean, what player has to step up? Like, I don't know, Rocket Richard, you know, Guy Lafleur. I mean, they're just been overwhelmed, and they're just not good enough right now. And maybe they're tired and fatigued, but this Carolina team is good. So a couple of things I'll say about Carolina. Is they're quick and they're fast, and they apply enormous pressure. They don't let you like even have a second. They don't let you have a first thought, let alone second thought. So that's something, and we've seen it at different times in these playoffs where Vegas has struggled with that. Against Utah for a little stretch, certainly against Anaheim for a little stretch. But those 2 teams were a little bit younger, not as mature, and I think that they weren't able to really back up Vegas. You know, I think the goaltending for Colorado just was poor, and I think that really hurt the Colorado Avalanche. Vegas, on the other hand, they're getting the goaltending. They've been a good team. They're a little bit bigger. They can lean in on you. But I think the advantage to Carolina is to their speed, quickness, and pressure. And I think to the Vegas advantage is their size. The back end has got a lot of size back there, and they're going to try to lean and slow down the Carolina Hurricanes. I think, you know, when you get to a point and each team has won 12 games and really rolled, I think it sets up for a fantastic Stanley Cup final. I mean, we know that Vegas was a good team during the regular season, and the goaltending just wasn't good enough. And they got the goaltending. And Carolina was a wagon in the East, or they've been a wagon in these playoffs. I'd like to tell you who I think would win. I'm not really sure. This might be just one of those really compelling Stanley Cup series that goes back and forth, and hopefully we get 6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh, well, hey, that I think it'd be a hell of a matchup. Two teams that play very similar styles, no question about it. The one thing that Vegas has right now, their top-end offensive guys, and Marner and Eichel are more productive than the top-end guys in Carolina. That, to me, is the big difference.
Yeah, it is. But the one thing that Carolina has is they spread it around, right? And so when Aho, that top line wasn't scoring or getting as many points, they got production elsewhere. And I think that that is the balance of Carolina. You're absolutely right about Vegas, but Carolina, they spread it around, and I think they've taken advantage of that of that balance in their lineup.
Craig Button joins us. Craig, we are officially 4 weeks away from the NHL draft, and now in Edmonton, hey, they don't have a first round pick, but there's some local kids and others, and I'm always intrigued by the draft. Lots of defensemen that are going, and Chase Reed is somebody who is rocketed up a lot of people's charts. Craig, where do you come out in between Gavin McKenna and Ivar Stenberg? What do you see as similarities and differences in their games?
Well, the similarities are, Jason, is that they're both, offensive wingers, skilled offensive wingers. Their statures and physiques are very, very similar. I think that Gavin is probably a little bit more leaning towards playmaker. Ivar is more leaning towards a little bit more of a shooter. I mean, Gavin can shoot the puck. Ivar can make plays. And I think that would be the small separator. One of the things that I'm trying to be careful of, and how expectations go, and I get all these questions, well, who are they like? Who are they compared to? And a lot of times I just try to make it about player type. They play this style of game. And one of the things I've been continually watching here in the last little while, and instead of saying, oh, well, I think they could be like Kane or Kucherov, I'm watching both these guys now, and I think their profile might be more current. But keep in mind, if they turn out to be Kane and Kucherov, they're pretty darn good players, first ballot Hall of Famers. But I'm thinking more Ivan Demidov. And that profile at the same age, similar areas, similar physiques, I think that they might be both similar in their style of play to Ivan Demidov right now. And that's a pretty good player. And we've watched Demidov make plays. We've watched Demidov, shoot the puck. And I think they both have those elements. Gavin leans more a little bit playmaking, and I think that Ivar leans a little bit more shooting.
Okay.
But I think they're both really good wingers that are going to add offense. I'm not so sure that they're going to be able to step in and contribute right off the bat. I think that if they do, that would be an unbelievable bonus for whatever team drafts them, if that's the path they go on. I think they're more kind of second half of the year, let's see where they're at and see how they acclimate.
Yeah, hey, fit's going to be something a little bit too sometimes. You fit in on a team and maybe you get to play with some skilled guys. Hey, Toronto, you get to go there and you get to play with Austin Matthews. Well, that could be a distinct advantage compared to, if you're getting drafted and hey, no offense to some of the other teams, but if you're going to to Vancouver, for instance, like Elias Pettersson's not Austin Matthews.
No, he isn't. But why don't we take a step back and look at what happened with Connor Bedard when he went to Chicago, right? Like, Connor was the rookie of the year. He was a good player. He dominated junior hockey, but he had his moments and periods where, he wasn't going to be as productive, not because he wasn't talented enough, just because there wasn't enough around him and he wasn't ready to really take it and grab it. And I think that that's the case with Stenberg and with McKenna. And you're right. I mean, you think about being lined up with one of the best. I mean, let's just say it went 1-2, and Toronto took one of them, and San Jose took the other one. Are you kidding me? You get to start with Austin Matthews and Macklin Celebrini? That's a pretty good start for skilled wingers to have those centers on to work with.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I agree with you on that. Now, what about the defensemen, Craig? because, I think, you've talked about it before, how, you got 5-6 defensemen easily can go in the top 10, and Chase Reed, and you got Carson Carrolls, and you got Keaton Verhoff, and you got Albert Smith, and you got Daxon Rudolph, like some really good D-men. Have you, in your late, like, has any of them separated for you to be the clear number one D-man?
No.
Yeah.
So we all have our opinions, Jason, and we all can look and we can say, well, we think that guy's the best for this reason, and this guy's the best for this reason. And I look at it, and I think, for me, Carl's is the best. But if you said, geez, what about Chase Reed? I couldn't put up opposition to that. I just couldn't. If you said Daxon Rudolph, I could understand why somebody would want Daxon Rudolph or Keaton Verhoff or certainly Albert Smith. I honestly, and good debating is making a case for any one of those five. And I could make a case for any one of those five being the best defenseman and heading into the draft. And so what you try to do is okay, what profile do you like? I'm going back to the NHL team now. What profile do you like? What profile fits your team? What fits in with what you have? And I think that becomes the factors that can differentiate between the players and who gets selected ahead of the other one. But I think those five, I throw Malte Gustafsson in there, a big rangy defenseman. He might not have as much offense, but I throw him in there as well. So we're looking at 6 defensemen that have different profiles, but are all really, really good. I think they're all going to be really, really strong players for the NHL team that drafts them.
Yeah. Is there anybody, Craig, and I know you studied them all, and has anybody, maybe, who's changed the most from the start of the year until now in your evaluation? Like a player that you feel has risen from where you had him in September until now?
Well, so I start off by trying to look at where players are at, and then I try like their skill set, and then I try to project what type of player I think they can be, and then you go from there. And people say, well, why did you change your mind on that player? I said, well, really, I don't change my mind. They make me change my mind. And so it all comes down, it's fluid, and it's a sliding scale of projection. There's 2 players that come into it. So I'll start with the first guy, which is Daxon Rudolph. Daxon Rudolph was the first overall pick in the Western Hockey League. You watch him play, and you see how he operates, and you think, okay, that's a good, steady defenseman. Then you start to see him take more of the game. You start to see him take more control of the game and more command, and his impact becomes greater and wider. And that confidence grows. And it's like this positive, vicious circle. He gets better. His game becomes more impactful, and it just keeps going from there. And, where I started looking at him as a 16-year-old, I saw him play a little bit as a 15-year-old, but as a 16-year-old in the Western Hockey League, that's a good, steady, defensive type defenseman, give you a little bit of offense, but watching him over the course of this year, really from last summer on, he played a little bit at the U18. He dressed for one game and then in the Holinka. I've been really impressed with his steady upward progression with respect to him and what I think his projection is. And I definitely, I don't see him as a number one defenseman in the NHL, but I definitely see him as a potential to be a top pair right side defenseman, and at the very least, a number 3 right side defense, number 3 on your second pair. And I value top 3 defensemen really significantly. The second guy is Viggo Bjork. And I've watched Viggo for a long time, and you watch him and you see him play, and there's not a lot of flash and dash to his game. And, you start to think, okay, is he going to be a center? Is he going to be a winger? You watch him play the wing. You watch him play a little bit of center. And you see the skill, you see the brains. But it was really heading into the World Junior and then watching him at the World Junior, and every single situation he was excellent in. And it didn't matter where they were at in the game, penalty killing, up, down a man, down 2, power play, face-offs in his own zone, and everything. And all I kept thinking about was, geez, he looks like a Swedish Nick Suzuki. He looks that type of a player. Like, he's never going to grab your attention with these dashes of up and down the ice, a big shot. But you watch the game, and he's just so incredibly effective and makes everybody around him better. So those are the two guys that, to me, have really upped their game. When I say up their game, he's just shown so much more. And obviously, I believe if you're not watching and paying attention, then you can never change your mind. But it's their play that's where I have to sit up and take notice and go, yeah, they're good players.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. Greg, who are you taking now? You've seen all the games. Who do you like in the Memorial Cup to win?
Well, Landon DuPont didn't play Wednesday versus Kelowna, and he's got an injury, lower body injury, not moving so well. I don't know what the couple of days off mean for him, but that's a big blow to Everett. And maybe not a big blow for Everett against Chicoutimi in the semifinal, but if they can get past Chicoutimi, I think a less than 100%, and how much that is, Landon DuPont kind of hinders them. We know it comes down to one game. Right now, through 3 games, Kitchener has clearly shown they're just a little cut above everybody else. Balanced, skill, the goaltending, and just what I would call a really complete team. So, Jason, you were there. You watched it at the 2021 World Junior Tournament. That Canadian team was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought if they won the gold medal there, what did they gave up 2 goals in the round robin, I think, or something like that. Anyway, through the gold medal game. And I'm thinking that if this team wins, you might be able to discuss them with the 2005 team. Well, what ended up happening? USA came in there. Spencer Knight was excellent. Trevor Zegras had a great performance, MVP, and they shut out Canada 2-0. So in a 1-game shot, is Everett good enough? I think Everett's better than Chicoutimi. I think Everett will win. I think Everett in a 1-game shot, but not having a full, healthy Landon DuPont could hinder them. But Kitchener's going to be a tough team to beat. They've been that good and that balanced. And, Jared Woolley, Sam O'Reilly won the Memorial Cup last year in London. Their impact on this team is pretty significant.
Yeah. Well, Craig, sorry to hear about DuPont. That sucks. And that's tough for Everett. Yep. Injuries at their worst time of the year, man. It's brutal. Well, either way, enjoy the broadcast. We've been enjoying watching you. Enjoy the semifinal and the final. We'll talk to you again next Friday, 3 weeks from the draft.
Yeah. Well, and then the next Friday will be 2 weeks from the draft.
Yeah, it's true. I love it. Good math, Craig. Good math. Can't get anything faster. I like it. Awesome. Have a good one.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Craig Budden from TSN. Jason Gregor, Wanye Gretz. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Don't let equipment failure stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln, and ESAB. And we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity. Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Hi, Edmonton. Are you ready to serve up some summer fun? Join Subaru at the Edmonton Expo Center on June 13th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for a free family-friendly tennis event designed for all ages from 3 to 83. Whether you're a seasoned player or have never picked up a racket, come to have fun and celebrate the start of tennis season in a comfortable indoor space. Register today at edmontontennis.ca. Make some memories and welcome summer with Subaru. Welcome to Uncommon.
Think a quality golf cart is out of your budget? Think again. At the Golf Cart People, we have a fantastic selection of fully inspected, pre-owned carts starting at just $4,500. Choose from gas, electric, or lithium-ion power to fit your lifestyle. And the best part, every used cart comes with a 1-year warranty for total peace of mind. Why wait? Get the cart you've always wanted today. Visit the Golf Cart People. Find out more at golfcartpeople.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Hockeyology, Edmonton's home for elite hockey development, skating analysis, performance assessments, and year-round training at West Edmonton Mall. Elite Hockey Development at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
.453, welcome back. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Just, every now and then you have random thoughts that just come into your head that really make no sense. But, as they have the French Open on TV and Roland Garros is there. And it was just like, you know what? Like, if Trump was sitting courtside, you wouldn't even notice him. Like, look at the clay, man. It's similar color. It's comical stuff. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. And right now, the exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture is in. Each piece features premium Shaqopedic memory foam. Check it out in-store or online, The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question number 1 today of the Oilers hires and promotions yesterday. Was there one that stood above the rest? Your favorite hire or promotion yesterday?
I like to see Kurt Hill getting promoted as the GM of the Oil Kings, but what are these titles? Assistant General Manager of Player Procurement.
Well, he's the assistant GM, and then his role will be player procurement, right? So they have, now the Oilers have 5 assistant GMs. Lots of teams in the league have multiple assistant GMs, right? Like, so you have Keith Gretzky's assistant GM, but he's the GM of Bakersfield. That's his role. Bill Scott's assistant GM, he's capologist, pro scouting, right? Now, and so you have like one of the Salma Lions assistant GM, but he basically runs the European operation, right? Now, they all work together and they communicate together, but they have specific roles. And if you want to win nowadays in the NHL, you can't, I think a bigger staff, it's as long as it's a good staff, because having more quantity, if it's not quality, isn't good. But having more quantity and more quality, well, that's a win-win. And I think that's what they do. So player procurement, we had Kurt Hill on yesterday and kind of explained everything. It's to ensure like amateur scouts and pro scouts, well, obviously they're scouting different players. There's still hey, what is the mandate from the organization on what style of players, what we're looking for, what types of guys, right? Like, hey, we need a right shot defenseman, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we need this, maybe we need that. Like, I would hope the Edmonton Oilers, if there's one mandate that they should put in place, is I would like moving forward, even as you add guys, like a little bit of, hey, we want skilled players, but we want somebody with a little bit of extra sass. I just don't know if the team has enough.
Glenn Sather ran GM and coach.
Very different times.
For years.
No salary cap. There's so many. You can't compare the 1980s till now. You just can't do it.
His work is now being done by 10 men.
Yes, it's true. Yes.
Question number 2. Obviously, we heard Cassidy, McCrimmon yesterday. This just won't go away. Are you guys sick of it yet?
Like I said, Bruce Cassidy is even, I remember the minute Cons, remember on the show he was on Toronto, said, hey, look at Bruce Cassidy. And this was before the story had come out that Bruce Cassidy wasn't being able to be, but now I look and say that's when they knew he wasn't, because then he went on that show and said, man, I would love to coach in Canada. Because at that point, well, we knew Toronto was open, but I'm like, oh, pretty smart. And then Edmonton came open. But that would tell me that someone had approached him, and then they were like, shut down, can't do it. So he's been on tour ever since, talking about it, and which he should be, you out of sight, out of mind. So keep it at the forefront, keep it on the pressure on. I would assume that, he'll do a few shows next week. We've got a request out. Hopefully we get him on, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I look at, I'm not really tired of it yet, because it's not like I've listened to his whole interview on every show. So it doesn't really impact me. I don't find it negative. It's definitely not sick of it.
I love drama. I love off-season drama. I love Oilers off-season drama. So this fits right in for me, Connor.
I thought you might. Also, just want to say, Cam Tate also had some input in some of these questions. So shout out to Tater as well. Who's winning tonight in Kelowna? Chicoutimi or Everett? And then also tomorrow, Canada and Finland at the World Championships.
Well, this is where it's important to follow along, because when Gregor was talking with Craig Button, I had originally said Everett, not knowing there was a catastrophic injury. Now I flipped the script. Chicoutimi, and obviously Canada will win against Finland.
I still think Everett's going to find a way to win tonight at home. That Canada-Finland game is going to be tough, man. Finns have been very good. So is Canada. These tournaments, though, Canada's due. So I guess I'll say Canada. But the pesky Finns, man, they always find a way to get in here. But they're more, I'll still go Canada.
All right, question number 4. Elks and Stamps tonight down at Clark Stadium. Should be a unique experience for those in attendance right now. And there's not that many to choose from. But is there a bucket list CFL stadium for you?
Oh, yeah. I think without question, you got to go to Saskatchewan.
I've been to a game at Mosaic Stadium. It was awesome. Middle of the summer, everyone was wearing watermelon helmets. It really was an experience.
Final question.
Well, we got the new stadium. Have you been to the new one?
No.
Oh, well, the new one's even better.
I'd like to go to Montreal. Weird stadium. Question number 5 for you guys.
That's good. You know what, Cons? You're very true.
It'd be unique, I think, and a good town.
I mean, there it is.
Final question. It's National Heat Awareness Day. Seems fitting. When it gets hot out, are you guys a fan of it? And what is the key to staying cool?
Well, I think I might get it. I'm a fan of heat when I'm on vacation, right? Where you can just be relaxing. But like, I'm not a fan of the heat when I got to work, right? Like, trust me, picking rocks, working outside in the oil field in the heat, the worst. I didn't like it at all. Like, I'd rather work in the cold, because I'm like, in the cold, I get work and I could say, once you get hot, it's like you can't cool off when you're working. Like, now, now, of course, you got your hard hat on. You got to have your boots on. Heck, you had to wear coveralls. Like, now, granted, the farm is a little bit different, man. I was out there. I had my old, like, junior high basketball shorts on as high as they could, man, because I'm like, I don't care. The least amount of clothes as possible. I don't care. Like, even my dad would be like, what are you doing? Because we would fence. And if I got hot, he's like, and I would have barbed wire cuts all over. I'm like, I don't care. I can't work. My dad would be out there, jeans on, long sleeve shirt. I'm like, I'm sweating watching you work. I couldn't do it. I get overheated. I don't like it. So I'd have a lot of scars from, barbed wire nicks all over the place, because I didn't like wearing any sort of pants for sure, or long. Like, I'd wear gloves, of course. Can't fence without gloves on. But I like the hot. Definitely when I have more like relaxed. Like tonight, go home, sit on the deck. Unreal. That stuff's great. But I don't like the heat when I got to work.
I used to, and still do, complain about it being winter 11 months of the year here, Connor. But it wasn't until I lived in a hot climate, like a really hot climate, that I understood why people take naps in the middle of the day. Like, you get up and you get ready to go out and you leave your apartment or you leave your house and it's 40 degrees, you're immediately tired. At least when it's cold out, you can go outside tired and wake up. So I'm a big fan of the cold, and that's why I live in Edmonton, Canada. End of TED Talk.
Nice.
What about you?
No, I don't like the heat. I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer the milder temperatures. Like, when it's what it is right now, like 30 and cloudy, I hate that. Give me 15 and sunny. I'd be much happier. But if I am on vacation, let's just say Vegas, it's nice because you can dip into the hotels, AC in the casino, go to the pool, things of that sort. And I did get my Pebble ice maker a couple months ago. So I'll be sipping on cool beverages, I think, to cool down.
What's that all about?
It just makes ice in pebble form.
Oh.
Very small pieces. It's unbelievable, to be honest with you. Highly recommend.
Connor improved.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't mind it. Connor improved. You know what? I was already thinking, like, sat on the deck last night. It was unreal. Went for a walk today, even with the dog. And, I could tell you got to be careful. Even having that little water bottle come, because, she's black dog. So, longer hair. So, in the heat, man, she's not loving it. Like, she likes it in the wintertime when the sun comes through the window and he's like on the carpet, man, she'll just lay out there like she's suntanning. But when it gets too hot, that's when I know it's hot, because usually she'll sit outside all day when it's like springtime. But summertime, like today, she was outside, and within like 2 minutes, pawn on the door, let me back in. It's too hot for me. So even the dogs know when it's too hot. Even the dogs know. So there you go. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. When we return, we'll get to the Spec Report here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Here's a Con Man Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. And you know what? The deal's never too hot. There. Got some great deals on Corvettes. Maybe you want to drive around. Man, I might have to bug Mike. Just let me test drive. They got the new Vets, like the 2025. God, it looks unreal. And the bright colors, like if I'm getting a Corvette and I'm getting a convertible, it's going to be in a bright color. I'll tell you that right now. Like a yellow or an orange, something sick like that. But you can get those and 0% finance on all heavy-duty trucks right now at NorthgateGM.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Game 5, Canes and Canadians from North Carolina puck drop just after 6. Obviously, Carolina can wrap this one up with the victory, leading 3-1. Major League Baseball tonight. Jays just about to get going in Baltimore. First pitch 5:05. We'll join that game in progress immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. A couple games underway right now. Braves on top of the Reds 1-0. While the Twins trail the Pirates 2-1. Padres also beat the Nats 1-0 in the first. Later tonight, Cubbies in St. Louis. Rangers host the Royals. Brewers taking on the Astros. Yankees Athletics. Mariners Diamondbacks. And the Phillies get the Dodgers. CFL preseason concludes tonight. Elks and Stamps from Clark Stadium. That one gets going at 7 o'clock. You've also got BC and Winnipeg. Ottawa hosting Montreal and Hamilton up against Toronto. The Riverhawks get their season going with Wenatchee in town all weekend. First pitch tonight down at Remax Field just after 7. And at the Memorial Cup, Chicoutimi and Everett, 7 o'clock puck drop. The winner will advance to Sunday's final against the Kitchener Rangers at 5. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet and Alan Mitchell, host of The Lowdown with Lothide. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shaq-beaded memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pic for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces. Exclusively at the Brick, saving you more.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Hear that? That's your entry calling. Go Auto is sending you to the biggest football event in the world, live in Vancouver, with tickets, flights, and a hotel stay for 2. To enter the contest, just text GAME to 780-777-7777. That's GAME to 780 all 7s. Go Auto, get in the game.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
They are nice, tasting just so right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Are the Jays playing the Baltimore A's tonight? What the hell's going on? That's like the weirdest uni that Baltimore is wearing, Connor Halley. What the hell's going on? There's like green and white. It looks like the Athletics.
Be more on the front as well. Condensing it, big letters. Yeah, that's kind of a different look.
Like, I'm all for different unis, and I know they have like what are they called? Is it like the City Connect? Is that what it's called? Their theme. And like, how's that connecting their city? Like, why like I don't get it.
Problem is their other jerseys are just so good.
Yes,
the blue like or the black and
the Orioles jerseys are pretty money. I agree with you on that. I just don't get it. It's an odd color. So
I've been to Baltimore a handful of times, Connor. I've never heard anyone call it Be More. Never.
Well, you weren't rolling with the right crew, I guess.
When I went to Baltimore, I was coming in from the airport and I said to the taxi driver, "Oh, I'm from Canada. Where should I go?" And he kind of looked at me in the rearview mirror and he said, "Well, don't go north. That's for sure." And I said, "Okay, I won't go north." He said, "Don't go south of your hotel either." I'm like, "Okay, no north, no south." Jokingly, I said, "What about the west?" He was like, "Are you crazy? Don't go west." And when he got to my hotel, he's basically like, "Lock yourself in the room, lock yourself in the bathroom of your room, lie in the bathtub till your flight leaves, and don't leave your hotel room bathroom."
Yes.
That's Be More.
Be More. Oh my goodness. Classic. Remember when people used to call Edmonton City Champions? Oof, that was fun times.
Then we took the signs down.
That's the worst decision.
We had no plan B either.
Such a terrible decision. So dumb. So dumb. Oh, and I sat in those meetings and listened to people and all of these, oh, this is going to be good. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Just why? Oh, someone complained. Okay, great. Let's listen to one complainer. Like, tell you most other people really appreciate it. Give me a break. Anyway, it's Positive Friday. Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And you can, maybe jump in on the action tonight for the Canadians and the Hurricanes. Could the Hurricanes be moving on to the next round with a victory tonight? Odds suggest pretty good considering the last three games. So get in at PlayAlberta.ca as it's time now for the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists, and they are hiring. Looking for pipe layers, top men, operators, and more. Anybody maybe just looking to start your career? gsconstruction.ca. Look up careers as Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
All right, man. Looks like all the clouds are coming in just right on cue. Friday at 5:00. All of a sudden, I'm looking around. It's like, wow, am I going to make it through this hit without getting soaked or what?
Oh, yes. Well, it's going to be a little wet on Sunday for sure, according to what you're saying. So, hey, we need a little bit of rain.
Good day to watch some baseball, hang around.
Yeah, I'll be checking out. I got some sporting activities, but I'll be get back, I think, in time for the second half of the Elks game. I know Connor's going to it live tonight at Clark, which I think will be a great. I'm just excited about the atmosphere to talk to people who go to that game tonight, just because you just don't, unless you were around in the 70s and earlier, you haven't seen a football game at CFL anyway. At Clark, obviously, the high schools played there and junior football played there, and even university, if I'm not mistaken, had a few games there at times. But I haven't been in a CFL game there in a long time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm old, so I grew up in the Knothole gang, man. That was my first, like when you grew up in Edmonton, all you kids out there, your dad would go to Woodward's downtown and get you 25-cent tickets for the Woodward's Knothole gang. But they'd also, this was the coolest part, man, if you got maybe you had to get like a season ticket, but it came with a patch for your jean jacket. So your mom put a patch on your jean jacket that said Woodward's Knothole Gang, and you were like, yeah, it's so cool. Every kid's jean jacket had a Knothole Gang patch on it, man.
You got to bring that back, Spec. The kids of today would love a jean jacket patch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I'm telling you. I actually ran into some guy and I was a little concerned. This is like 5 years ago, and he reaches in his wallet and he pulls out his little Knothole Gang membership card. They give you one of those too. And I'm like, that card's 50 years old and you still have it in your wallet, buddy. Like
that's commitment.
Try going on a date sometime.
Who knows? Maybe, who knows? Some people love collector's items. Like, I'm not, I definitely don't have anything that's been around that. Like, there's some things I wish I would have kept from the past, but I never had a cool, like, I really wish I would have kept, some hockey tickets, because I didn't know that tickets would be a thing of the past, right? Like nowadays, it's on your phone. Like,
right.
Yeah. But, Stanley Cup finals and everything like that, like, those would have been pretty cool to keep.
Oh, for sure. Like that, you didn't know it at the time, but
yeah.
Like I just saw the other day, somebody sent me a text. He found some Van Halen tickets from when we were in high school. And they came every year when we were in high school. And that was when they were like right in their prime, right? 1980, 81, 82. And he had a ticket for $18.50, I think it was, for a Van Halen concert. Like, one of the best California glam bands in the history of music, less than $20 to go see them in their prime. Like, that's a $400 ticket today. So anyway, I chucked all mine out, man. They're somewhere on the Northlands Coliseum floor for me.
Spec, you look at the Montreal Canadiens tonight, and obviously they're in must-win territory here. I don't see it happening. Carolina has smothered them for the last 3 games. I just don't see it change.
Yeah, I mean, they're at that formidable crossroads, Jay. The Oilers found themselves there with Florida. You've played an entire season. You're pushing 100 games here. You play a certain way. You're built a certain way. You know what works for you. That's why you do what you do. And now you run into a team that absolutely has you figured out and has you handled, man. So you can't just break out a new system. You can't just turn into some other team that you're not, because that ain't going to work. But the team that you are, Carolina's got you down to a T here. So you tell me, what is the answer when you're Martin St. Louis?
Well, you hope that your top guys can find a way to generate some offense. They generated offense all year long. Like, Cole Caulfield had 40 goals at even strength this year. Second most in the NHL. Like, that was a big reason why they finished where they did, right? Like, the truth of the matter is, you know what? You get to the playoffs and you need some support characters to help you out. I totally understand it. But when push comes to shove, if your big dogs aren't barking, you're not winning.
Oh, we all know that. The guys that brought you there have to be the guys that continue to win for you. Sure. You get the odd game where your third line bangs a couple in, or some hero comes off the fourth line. Like, that's playoff hockey too. But over the course of 3-4 rounds, if your best parts of your engine aren't productive and churning, you don't get to 3 or 4 rounds, frankly. You peter out, because eventually your team is constructed to rely on Caulfield, to rely on Suzuki, to rely on Hudson. Those guys have to produce for you. And if they're not producing and playing well and getting chances, doesn't matter anymore, man. It's got to go in the net for Caulfield and Suzuki.
Yeah, no, it is true. Meanwhile, Vegas sits back and waits, and I think it's going to be Vegas and Carolina, and it'll be fun to see. We were asked earlier today, Spec. We had Rod Peterson on the show, and he's pretty confident that when it's all said and done, Cassidy's going to end up in Edmonton. Agree or disagree?
Yes,
yeah, that's what he thinks.
Okay.
What do you think? Well, so let's say Carolina wins tonight, right? Then the NHL playoff, it starts on the 2nd. I think then the last game would be on the 18th. And that's the last game. But if it ends earlier than that, Vegas right now is claiming they won't let him do it because they're focused on the playoffs. Okay, so I'm going to say that once the playoffs are over, then maybe they'll do it. And if that's the case, then I could see Casty being the head coach. But
yeah, I mean,
if Vegas isn't going to give them permission right away, then there's the owners can't wait. I think into July or August. That doesn't make much sense to me. I know they could if they wanted to, but something would tell me that if Vegas grants it, then yes. But I'm not sold yet that they're going to grant it.
Well, I guess I just fall back on history on these things. This is the first time we've gone through one of these. There has never been a coach in the history of hockey that has not, in the end, worked, right? Found a way to work in Bruce Cassidy's situation. Every coach who ever got fired, there might have been a contentious, there might have been, this or that, but in the end, every guy has worked. So if Bruce Cassidy doesn't work next year, he'll be the first one in the history of hockey. So that tells me that there's generally some off ramps here for people. At some point, I don't know, can't just say, isn't there, I know Vegas makes their bones because they haven't shown a lot of loyalty, right? They blew Marc-Andre Fleury out of there, even though he was their franchise player and helped them sell that team and did everything for them. They've not shown an affinity to be loyal. Marchessault, see you later. We liked you. You're gone. So my point would be this: Bruce Cassidy won them their only Stanley Cup. He was the head coach. He gave him everything. He did a great job there, fulfilled his mandate 100%. At some point, could Kelly McCrimmon really look him in the eye and say, sorry, buddy, I'm not letting you work this year? Is that really something Kelly McCrimmon is going to do in the end? Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, the odds would say no, right? But, hey, man, there's a first for everything. Right? There's always a first time. So
when the cup ends and Vegas wins or Vegas loses, Bruce is going to phone Kelly and say, Kelly, what's happening here? What's going on? And is McCrimmon really that hard a guy? Is that who he is? Is he that hard a guy that he's just going to, that's what he's going to do? I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, you're probably right. Now let's move to the Elks final preseason game.
Wait, well, you talk. I'm going to put up an umbrella because it's raining on me here.
Oh, I love it, buddy. Oh, good little. You know what, Spec? Toughen up a bit. You're not made of sugar. You're not just going to disintegrate. We hope not.
No, but my computer might.
Oh, your computer might. Well, that's fair. You look at the Elks tonight. They did get some bad news on the injury front for those that are just joining us. Newell, who of course was their draft pick last season, didn't play. He's got an Achilles. He's done for the year. Barlow, who played really well down the stretch for Edmonton on the D-line, he has Achilles tear. He's done for the year. So a little bit of injuries on the D-line. Now, they still got lots of D-linemen in camp. They got a lot of depth in camp, so that's good. But I think there's even more competition now for some spots available on the D-line. If anybody's going to the game tonight, look at number 99, Hubert, man. He has played really good for Canada here. Really good. Not Canada, for Canadian, playing for Edmonton. So check that out. But I look at the Elks, and I'm really interested to see how their offense looks again tonight, because I got to think Cody Fajardo is going to play at least a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half, up to a half tonight, right? Like, if your goal is to come out of the gate ready, Spec, then you got to play, I think, your starting quarterback more than 2 series.
Yeah, we've had the conversation about how, every team in every league in every sport wants to have a good start. That's just who doesn't, you ever hear a coach say, oh, we lose the first 2? Of course not. Everybody wants a good start. A good start is more important. It's more imperative here in Edmonton than most teams, because they've had a series of bad starts here every year. What's your number on their first? You had a number on their first 6 games or something every year.
Oh, buddy, they haven't won their first game of the year since 2018.
Yeah, so we're at a bit of a crossroads in Edmonton with the Elks, and in a good way. I think everyone seems to think that they finally got something happening here, and there's a little something to sink your teeth into and something to support. And a good start, another 0-4 start or 0-3 start, man. everyone's going to go, oh, well, guess we were wrong, because it's the same old, same old. So like I say, every team in the leagues wants to start well. This team, at some point, it needs to start well. So that bleeds into your last exhibition game, Jay. I think it's more important that Cody Fajardo gets his snaps and your starting people get their snaps, your starting unit gets their snaps together, than it is to look at some third-string running back just because you brought him to town. That guy's going to have to sacrifice some snaps to get this team ready for week one. Isn't that fair?
Yeah. Hey, they've got to come out firing. That's how I look at it. Just come out firing, be ready, be aggressive offensively. It's not like Ottawa is a dominant team by any stretch, but so tonight I look to see just kind of how they can approach this offensively. Their O-line is good. It's way better than last year. No question about it.
That's huge.
Huge. They won't have, one of their better receivers not going to play tonight, Robustelli. He's a little bit banged up, but he should be good for the season opener. But still, you got Mac, you got a lot of other young guys, McGriff, et cetera, that should be able to show well. So I'm really curious to see what they do tonight in front of a home crowd. It's the other thing. It's home spec for a team that didn't win at home forever. And I know they finally did that last year. I know it's only a preseason game, but send people home in a good mood. I don't know if maybe it's going to rain, maybe it's not. This organization needs to, you can't just say all the good things. Now's the time to deliver on it.
Yeah, I agree. Like there's another one. It doesn't matter in most towns if you win a preseason game at home. It matters in this town a little bit. We're not giving up on them if they don't win tonight, but it matters in this town. You've put yourself in a position where things like preseason games matter. Hopefully 3 years from now, we won't care. Yeah, we won't. Do we care about the Oilers in the preseason? We don't care about the Oilers in the preseason because we know they're a pretty good team. Hopefully the Elks can get there, but right now the Elks are that team, man. They got to show it every time they hit the field. They got to show us, in the media, in the fans, in the city, their supporters, even people who are thinking about being a supporter. They got to show us it's not same old, same old. This team's been too bad for too long. It's time for change. And the change comes on the scoreboard, my friend. We've heard about lots of changes in the boardroom and the assistant coaches and, we got a new player, blah, blah, blah. The scoreboard's been the same for too long. Scoreboard's got to start changing here too.
Spec, enjoy the rain. We'll chat with you on Monday.
All right, brother. Have a great weekend.
There you go. That's Mark Speck of the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. LT is up next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
With Play Alberta, backing the home team goes beyond the bets. That's because your picks have provincial impact. Play Alberta is the only app in the province that puts all revenue directly back into supporting programs and services that Albertans rely on every day. By investing in the General Revenue Fund, every play, bet, and buy made on Play Alberta helps make a difference across the province. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your supplier of maximum comfort, bringing you the cool AC you need. You just have to call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort at night when the hot air suffocates you. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. For comfort in your wallet with no payments or interest for 1 year. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. You deserve comfort. Cool off today with AC from Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Are new McCafe crafted sodas just drinks or something more? Like Sprite Berry Bliss, Creamy Strawberry Coke, and Orange Dream. All swirled with fizzy flavor and topped with silky cold foam. Only at McDonald's. At participating McDonald's restaurants in Canada.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Get ready for Silly Hockey Fans.
Your partner in
I
power
know what
just
you're doing
skated
there.
onto the
There's,
ice.
catered words.
WEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
There's other people
UL
doing
skates
that
to where the puck will
situation,
be
so maybe
in 5
we
years.
would,
Now that's
mention
forward thinking.
that,
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary
tonight-
service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your
Save
account
me that.
today at UL.ca
If you
and
need it,
win that project. Plug
it's
into
always
your
there.
partner in power. Get an
Can't take.
EWEL.ca account today.
The Ford It's a Big Deal event is on until June 1st. Get a big deal on a 2026 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Shake off winter and roll into spring. It's time to turn the season with Jiffy Lube. Until May 31st, visit any participating Jiffy Lube for a Pennzoil full synthetic oil change, and you could win some incredible prizes, like the Grand Prize Spring Kit featuring 2 Yeti mugs, wiper blades with install, gift cards, and more. You could even roll away with one of Jiffy Lube's Keeping You Moving mini prizes. Turn the season with Jiffy Lube and win. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca today.
Debt can take over your life. The stress, the constant worry, it can feel like you're drowning. When people come to see me, they're often anxious and feeling hopeless. But when I explain how I can help them get out of debt, those feelings melt away. I'm Parveen Middleton, licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. I will create a personalized debt relief plan so you can move forward with confidence. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to discover your debt-free future.
No fluff, no fillers, just pure entertainment. Sports 1440 brings the heat with bold opinions, big personalities, and Edmonton's fiercest fans. This is your turf. This is Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Maybe you were a skateboarder, like, no, 10 times. Does that mean FCT? I have no idea. But if you're only testing, people who you think have CT, it's kind of stupid. It's like the National Association of Social Workers had most studies on suicide, but they only studied female suicide. They didn't study men's suicide. It's never funny. Why would you take it? Positive Friday continues on. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Wanye Gretz also along for the ride. Of course, we got the Elks coming up tonight, their final preseason game. Lots of starters in the lineup. You'll see all the DBs, Ross, Jackson, Ford. None of them played in the first one. They're all playing tonight. DeBlanco's going to play. Interesting that Mogutsen's starting at the middle linebacker position. Anderson started the first. I think they're just trying to keep that as a competition. I think Anderson will play. Carney, Brinkman, and Smith are all dressed as well on the defensive side. Now, offensively, most of the starters did play in BC. Now, not a lot, but they played, but they're all start, except Robustelli. He is not dressed tonight. Keon Julian Grant will miss his second preseason game, but he is expected to be in the lineup next Saturday. But I got to see him on the practice field first. Expected is one thing. Being there is another one. So the receivers, if you're going to the game tonight, you might want to check them out. There's a few receivers, I think, competing for some spots. You look at a guy who's Cephas, number 18. He's really opened eyes. He's had a great camp. Then you got Victor, as well as, Luther's played pretty well, 88, McGriff, 89. So the 87, 88, 89, you're going to the game. Those some other, or you watch it. It's on, or no, is tonight on CFL Plus Cons? I'm not sure if tonight's game is or not, but I know it's live at Clark, so we'll see. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Go Auto. Looking for a vehicle this weekend, cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. They got over 33 different brands, 73 different locations, 15,000 vehicles. pretty good chance they'll have yours. GoAuto.ca is the host of the Lowdown. LT joins us. Al Mitchell, how you doing, my man?
I am well. I'm a beautiful day. We had the rain out my way maybe about 3:00 today. It was really rainy, and now it's the sun's back out. It's a little the temperature's maybe like 19 or 20 right now. It was much warmer earlier. I'm quite enjoying this, Jason. It's springtime. I know it came late, but it's very nice.
It is nice, very hot. We're going to get some rain over the weekend, maybe some scattering showers different places tonight. So we'll see how that goes. I will get to the orders in a second, but what is it your things you're watching most about the Elks, or do you put in anything into tonight's game?
Well, what I'd like to see is, there's a great stadium to watch a football game, and I watched George McGowan catch balls in that place, and that's a long time ago. But I'm hoping that what we hear after this game is that fans had a blast. It's a totally different environment. It's a great place to watch a football game, and I think that fans will be excited about that. Now, the other thing that I think is important is that they got to win. And now they've got an opportunity to get a win here at home and start off the year right. And I heard you talking to Speck about pretty much the same thing. But the last, it feels like the lasting memory that fans have of the Elks at the beginning of any season is a string of losses that becomes close to record, and then they start getting going. So I would just like to see, I know it's a preseason game, but I'd like to see a win. I'd like to see people coming away. So you were talking about the wideouts, were making an impression. Like one of them just to step up and for people to get excited about somebody. And we're missing that. And I think that people are ready for it. And I believe this team will meet, the challenge. And that's my hope is we're walking away tomorrow morning. We're all talking about a game that was well played. And there's somebody that caught someone's eye and you never know. And that begins the process. There's a time when the Eskimos were awful in the early 70s. And when Wilkie got to town, it started to turn around, he and Bruce Lemmerman. But, that's personnel, that's coach. And I think they've got the start of some traction here. Hopefully they'll get off to a good start, and that includes tonight.
Yeah, well, tonight would be great, but to me, it's next Saturday. Like next Saturday, the Elks, like as an Elks organization now, they came in was it the 21 season? I think it was. And they've never won their first game of the year. They've never won the second game of the year. They've never won the third game of the year. They've started 0-3, 0-7, 0-9, 0-3. Like it's been awful. And in some cases, like the season was over before it began. They need a good start. And so tonight, my biggest thing is that they have no injuries in the game. They've had Barlow and Newell out with ACL tear, so they're done for the year. So that's not ideal. I just want them to get out of this game healthy and be ready for, I think, a must-win game. And I know that sounds so stupid to say, but it's must-win in game one. That's how I view it for the Elks.
Well, and it's like especially this year because I think they can get bums in the seats if they create a buzz, but it has to start right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Overall, Al, do you have a favorite memory of going to games at Clark?
The one I remember is and I was like a teenager, but I remember McGowan catching a ball and falling out of the, he just right on the sideline and he fell out of bounds. So there wasn't a chance for a hit or whatever. And then they ran it in the next play for a touchdown. And McGowan was the guy that, had been there and people, enjoyed watching. And that there was some Bills, they in the backfield they had Roy Bell, and then I went to Jim Germany. Bell got really, really hurt, terrible injury. Germany came in, I'm going to say 77, and so, but you could tell, Jason, because they were recruiting better players and they were getting real runners and Waddell Smith and some great players up here, and I think we're seeing that now. But as you said, there's luck involved and there's good health. So I think that my memories of Clark Stadium were mostly about them being good, and then when they went to Commonwealth, by the time they got there, they were a great team.
LT, maybe you could inform some of our listeners who don't remember the heyday of the Elks what it was like when this team was at its peak in terms of on-field performance, but also popularity. Like, I can recall as a child going to Commonwealth and the entire second bowl being full. Tell us a story from the heyday.
Well, it was the expectation was winning, and I'll give you a really quick one. I used to do remotes at Tire Town, and they'd have owners there, and they'd have Eskimos there, and then the most popular guy in town for that kind of thing was Gizmo. Gizmo was so popular. They'd have hot dogs and hamburgers. Can't do that now, but they have hot dogs and hamburgers, open house, get your tires, changed, and then Giz would sign a contract or sign some football, whatever, and it was like the Eskimos at that time, Warren Moon, Tom Wilkinson, Gizmo Williams, Dave Cutler, Hank Olisic, they were in their own way. I don't think that you would notice the big difference between those guys and some of the Oilers. Nowadays, it's completely different. But the one team would dominate in the winter and then win in the spring, and one team would dominate in the summer and win in the fall. So that's where the City of Champions, this became the City of Champions, and they were a part of it. And I remember going to watch Warren Moon and the Eskimos, and it was a rainy, awful day. I came up from Red Deer. I was working in Red Deer, and I came up, and I would not have bought a ticket, but I was there, and I sat in the stands, and Moon, goes back into the pocket, and he throws a perfect spiral, wind, hail, sleet, awful, perfect spiral, bang, to Waddell Smith, and I just was in awe. They were great athletes. There was a great team. They were dominant, and it was a great time. I pinched myself, and I also wish I had enjoyed it more because both teams were just stupid lights out. They were great.
Al, you moved to the what's on today? It's 4 weeks away from the draft. The Stanley Cup is either going to start on Tuesday, the final, or on Thursday. If it starts on Tuesday, it ends on the 20th. If it's 18th, if it starts on Thursday, the latest it can end is the 20th. So, we know that Vegas won't grant permission until the Stanley Cup final is over. We don't even know for sure if they're going to grant it. But I'm asking you today. It's our final broadcast in May. Will Cassidy be the next Oilers head coach, or they pivot and go to Laviolette or other options?
I think it'll be Cassidy. I think that they're the way that they're presenting this, and the vagueness of who they're interviewing, and it doesn't seem like it's not like nobody's on the fourth interview. I think it'll be Cassidy. I think they feel like they have an avenue to it, and my suspicion is that'll happen probably right after the Stanley Cup. But I mean, if I'm Cassidy, I don't think I have a second choice. I think Edmonton would be the first choice. So I'm going to say it's Cassidy.
Okay. The Vegas Golden Knights, can either Carolina or Montreal beat them?
I think Carolina can, but I think Carolina's going to have to play at a peak level. And Carolina had an easy run early. They were stood up in the beginning by Montreal in this series, and now they're looking like they're running the table here, and that's, I guess, expectation. Montreal is young, but I think that there's a part of me thinks that Carolina, not that they haven't been tested, but they haven't been tested by a Vegas Golden Knights. And the one thing I said at the beginning of the playoffs about Vegas is if they get goaltending, and I know it's been inconsistent, but they've gotten goaltending. If they get goaltending, then they have so many smart hockey players, and they have, Eichel can do a range of things. Stone is a brilliant player. They just come in waves, and I think that Vegas could be the favorite, but I think Carolina can win it, but they have to play an exceptional game every game. And I think early in the series, they might be overwhelmed by Vegas because Vegas is a load.
That Carolina plays very similar. My one concern for Carolina is it's the same it's always been. Now you get, the deeper you go, Eichel and Marner are more productive top-end players than the top-end guys in Carolina. Now, maybe Jarvis, Svechnikov, and Aho, one or two of them will get going. But to me, that has to happen. Otherwise, not happening.
Yeah, And you also have to get, there will be somebody emerge from one side or the other, and I'm cheering for Taylor Hall just because that would be a great story. But so one of the players will go off a la Prasani in 2006, and that will be the story of the postseason. Chances are it'll be somebody on the third line, but the final hasn't started yet. The script has a long way to go. I'm not sure what player will do it. Maybe it's Hurdle, but there will be somebody emerge and score, 6 goals in 6 games, and that'll be your story. That'll be the offense. We'll see. But I do agree with you. The top end, Eichel is, if you look at him in the playoffs, they find some clean air for him, and he really takes advantage. He has been a real story. There's no doubt about that.
Al, what do you got planned for the weekend?
Well, I am taking my wife right now to a restaurant. We're going out and having a little bit of a meal. And on tomorrow, because I'm an exciting guy, I got to take the bottles back and do a little bit of there's a dandelion or 2 in my backyard, Jason. I don't know how it happened, but I'm going to take care of that. And so it's going to be kind of a checking out Spurs and working around the house kind of a weekend.
There you go, Al. Enjoy it.
I know, exciting.
Oh, Al, I'm not sure if you'll have enough time. Just not sure if you'll have enough time to go to Bed Bath & Beyond and the other places you want to go. So hopefully, hopefully can fit it in.
The great thing about Bed Bath & Beyond is they know me so well. They stay open afterwards and lock the door, and then I get to browse through at my leisure because I'm such an important customer.
Al, have you ever purchased anything from Bed Bath & Beyond?
I've been there once, and it was because I opened the wrong door and went into the wrong store.
Thank you. I agree. I can say that I've never been there either. So, classic. Al, have a good one. There's Al Mitchell, a.k.a. Low Tide. So, there. You ever been to Bed Bath & Beyond, Wanye?
No.
Connor?
Yeah. I love that store, actually.
What?
They had crazy stuff like that you could only get there. Like that you would see on TV.
Like a pillow that's a stop sign?
Oh, no. I bought my bacon wave there, breakfast sandwich maker. I bought sheets there once, but Ashley made me return them. They were too expensive.
What's a bacon wave?
You just hang the bacon over the it's a tool to make bacon, I guess would be the simplest way to put it.
Okay. I'm not judging you. I am judging you.
I mean, that's some cool stuff. I think they had like ice cream makers and stuff. It's sometimes I have a 2-hour break at the mall. I get a little bored sometimes. So I when it was still here, I'd walk through it. Yeah.
When you're being sent back to Bed Bath & Beyond because the bed sheets were too expensive, are you happy you're such a calm person?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They were expensive. Like, I did not know sheets could be that expensive, but they were top of the line.
Nothing but the best.
Yeah. I don't know what the thread
The
count?
thread- yeah, thread
it was
count,
a
guys.
high thread count.
You deserve a high thread count, Connor.
Well, there's a standard, I guess, a number you want to get over. I went to the top of the top.
Your wife's like, you're good, but you're not top of the line thread count.
No.
Good.
I don't know how good they were, but they probably would have been nice. We didn't even open them. It was just she found out the price and said, no, take them back.
Do you sleep on silk sheets, Gregor, at the Gregor Manor? What are you sleeping on over there?
No. But it would, I don't even want to get in this conversation because I think most people would tell you, like, I think they should have a book that there's things they never tell you about marriage. And one is like, how do you sleep? Because honestly, my wife she's got a weighted blanket. She would have, what are those thicker sheets? I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating just laying in the sheet. Just even thinking about it, I'm starting to sweat. Thick duvet, like, oh no, dude. So finally, I read a thing and I said, you know what? They talk about how you should each get your own duvet cover. Just get a twin. And mine's going to be like the paper thin because I don't like anything. And she can have the thickest, you know what? You want to make that thing an inch or like a foot thick, knock your socks off. It's not going to be on my side because, sheets are too hot and I don't like it. It's a whole issue for me right now.
Do it. You're a trendsetter.
Dude, I don't like it. It's just.
Go to the twin
get
duvet.
Too hot. Like, oh yeah, no. People are doing it. And I can see why they do it. Because if somebody pulls on the sheet too much, like I'm a sound sleeper. People that are light sleepers, it's probably different for them. But no, sheets, man, it's the bane of my existence, right? Why can't I blocked the name of the sheets out right now? Somebody knows it. It's like they're the thicker sheets, and God, they're the worst. They're just so hot. I don't like being hot when I sleep. I can't do it, man. I can't do it. So
Are you a fan guy when sleeping with a fan on?
Oh, for sure.
Love a fan.
Yeah, but I try to sleep with the window open. Like my wife went on a trip, and so it was boys' weekend, me and my son. And man, I had the window cranked, and it's like freezing in the room. I'm like, this is unreal. Like, I love sleeping when it's cold. So love it. So, God, I got to find the name of those sheets. I just can't stand. So I try to get the light sheets, but right now we got.
Are they fuzzy? I'm trying to.
Yeah, they're kind of fuzzy. That's like winter sheets, but they're. Oh no, these are thin. I'm like, no, they're not. It's just still hot. So I don't like. But it's basically right now. I'm sleeping with the flannel. Thank you, Troy. Flannel. God, the worst. Oh no, they're lighter. No, they're not. It's a lie. Now maybe I'm just too hot when I sleep. I don't know, but I can't handle being hot. So right now I think I'm sleeping with a flannel sheet. That's about it. And then the duvet is folded over, so it's not even on me. So, yeah, it's good times.
Fan sleepers are
a real
different.
romantic time right now.
Oh, it sounds it.
Yeah.
Fan sleepers are a different type because you can sleep with a fan on the dead of winter if you're a fan sleeper.
Oh,
It's got
100%.
nothing to do with the outside temperature.
No, not at all. Just like the noise, like the airflow. Love it. We'll come back, wrap things up in the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When thirst strikes and your energy begins to fade, one hero rises above the rest. Introducing the Superpower Smoothie from Booster Juice. A bright sun-charged burst of mangoes, bananas, and blue spirulina. An out-of-this-world smoothie, just in time for the new Supergirl movie. Discover your power and channel your inner superhero. Fly into your local Booster Juice and experience it for yourself today. And see Supergirl. Only in theaters June 26th.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991. Or visit silentrides.ca.
Hey there, I'm in the Fountain Tire sidecar, making a list of the things I'm doing this spring. 1. Saving you money, with up to 20% off select tires until June 13th. 2. Water skiing, tricky in a sidecar, but fun. And 3. Saving you more money, with mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires and $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Oh, that's 4 things. Oh well. Restrictions apply. Book online at fountaintire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
The Brick is thrilled to introduce the new exclusive Shaquille O'Neal home lineup of furniture. Each piece features premium Shacopedic memory foam for exceptional comfort, made to be lived in and loved for years. Each piece is built on a strong hardwood frame, offering sturdy comfort day after day. Head to any Brick location and snap a photo with Shaquille O'Neal. A life-size Shaq is waiting in store. Scan the QR code and upload your pic for a chance to win one of 4 Shaquille O'Neal home pieces exclusively at The Brick, saving you more.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Fruit Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the 1s and 2s, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Say hello to your new favorite drinks. Introducing new McCafe Refreshers. Icy cool, undeniably refreshing, and available in 3 flavors. Strawberry watermelon, mango pineapple, and blackberry passion fruit. Only at McDonald's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
5:51. We're set to hey, Michelle's texting Jason, Scandinavian sleep method, 2 separate duvets, saved my marriage, Michelle. See, there you go. Thanks, Michelle. I'm on it. I am on it. Guys, sleeping with a fan because leading cause for respiratory issues later in life. Based on what? Like, honestly, That might.
I hope not.
Like, how would a fan lead to respiratory issues?
Good question.
Yeah.
You're using it wrong.
Yeah. Hey, guys, do you sleep with a pillow between your legs? I started using one a couple of years ago. No idea how I slept without it. And yes, me and my wife have separate comforters. Game changer from Slurpee Sean.
I saw a YouTube video once where this guy showed how you're supposed to sleep for like maximal joint rest. And he had a pillow like all around him. He had 4 pillows, knees, arms.
Was he on his back?
I don't remember that part, but I tried it and it was like I was sleeping in a cloud. Putting a pillow between your knees is a veteran play.
Really?
Yes. It's a huge move, especially if you've like been walking a lot during the day. You'll wake up in the morning.
Huh.
I'll tell you. Clutch veteran play.
A lot of people text in about the 2 separate blankets. Game changer. See, I'm on it. I'm on it. So
you think a cold bedroom would help with flannel sheets and a weighted blanket would make more sense in a cold room?
People that sleep with weighted blankets, good for you. I just don't understand it. I'm like, I'm not in the womb. I don't need to be like.
I feel like I'm getting smothered. I don't like the feeling.
Yeah, 100%. I don't get it at all. But hey, everybody's different.
How many pillows on the bed before you get into it? Is there about 100 pillows on the bed?
No, we don't. Yeah, thankfully there's not like a massive amount of throw. Like if you make it completely, I think there's 2 extra throw pillows or something that go on, but nothing crazy.
Some people rock 10 pillows on the bed.
Oh,
Like
buddy, I've seen it. Yeah. Hey, you know what? They like it. I'm like, that's good. No, I'd say I'll take that over the flannel sheets. Flannel schmannel. Beat it. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the games tonight. Enjoy the Riverhawks, the Elks. Maybe you're watching the Jays. Maybe you're watching the NHL. By Monday, we should know for sure who's in the Stanley Cup final. We think it's Carolina and Vegas, and if it is, it will be starting. Could be starting as early as Tuesday. Enjoy Game 7 tomorrow night. OKC and the Spurs will have the Jays game coming up right after this. On behalf of Connor Halley, Wanye Gretz, Donovan Paulson, I'm Jason Gregor. Whatever you do, please do not drink and drive. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Let's get to the Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, they have lots of them, but they also got a big heart. They've donated over $27 million to charities. They like giving back to where they work. Play Alberta. That's goauto.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
We're about 10 minutes away from puck drop out in Raleigh as the Canadians taking on the Hurricanes. Carolina leading that series 3-1 in the majors. Jays in action, trailing the Orioles 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Bases juice for Baltimore. Looks like a sac fly will score another run. We'll join that game in progress immediately following the Jason Gregor Show. Elsewhere, Braves lead the Reds heading into the fifth 4-2. Twins up on the Pirates 5-4, and the Nationals have a 4-2 lead over the Padres. Out in Cleveland, the Red Sox trail the Guardians 4-0 midway through the third, and the Cubbies up on the Cards 4-3 in the second. Later on tonight, you got the Royals and Rangers, Brewers in Houston, Athletics and the Yankees, Diamondbacks get the Mariners, and the Dodgers host the Phillies. CFL preseason wrapping up tonight with 8 teams in action. Edmonton and Calgary get going at 7 o'clock down at Clark Stadium. Right now, Hamilton leads Toronto 7-6. Montreal is a 3-0 lead over Ottawa. And later on tonight, you got Winnipeg and BC from Winnipeg. Also in our town tonight, Riverhawks getting their season going with Wenatchee here. Song gets going just after 7 o'clock down at Remax Field. And at the Memorial Cup, it's Chicoutimi and Everett at 7. The winner of this one will advance to Sunday's final against the Kitchener Rangers. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, it is Fox Sports Radio. If you're streaming Blue Jays baseball, if you're on the AM dial, a live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with a Saturday Sports setup, followed by Hoop City with Paul Sir. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
This is Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on